The man in black asked about Noah's talent. Turning to the appraiser, he said that he would say the result faster. Aldaheim Noah is the oldest son in the family and is 5 years old. The appraiser stammered and said that talent is decoding. Aldaheim is a family of magical aristocrats that has existed for many generations. Excellent wizards and sorceresses were born in it. Everyone was interested in the results of Noah, who was probably destined for the greatest talent. Aldaheim Hildegand is the current head of the family. Hildegand was surprised to hear that there was a transcript, and he clarified that the talent is neither attacking magic nor elemental. Noah asked his father what was going on. Hildegand turned to his son. Noah stared at his father in disbelief. Hildegand slapped his son, saying that he was a disgrace to the family, scolded his son for tarnishing their reputations. Noah wanted to say something, but Hildegand ordered him to be silent, saying that he was no longer his son. The appraiser wanted to stop Mr. Hildegand. Noah stays in Niponia asking for forgiveness with tears. He noticed the maid. The maid barely noticed Noah and ran away with an apology. From that day on, everyone started avoiding Noah. Noah was sure his father had told him to. He thought to himself how he had tried to behave for his father's sake so that they wouldn't dislike him, but no one would talk to him. He started spending time in the library, and reading distracted him from what was going on. Noah is surprised that he can read a complex book. He had read all the books in this room. Once when he was sitting outside the house and suddenly noticed something. Coming closer, I saw a stone slab in front of me. There were symbols on the stone slab. Noah returned and began to decipher the symbols. The symbols on that slab were terribly complex, and he didn't understand what they meant. I went back to the stove. He deciphered that it was a book depository or a book. Then I deciphered the phrase on the reverse side, rearrange in accordance. On the back of the plate, too, were symbols that must be deciphered. A month later, he was able to decipher all the symbols on the slab. Afterward, Noah began to set up the books exactly as it was written on the stove. A secret passage opened. Noah was surprised to see a hidden staircase. I went down the stairs. The lights came on. Noah thought that this was the glowing magic stone mentioned in the book. In front of him was a door with an inscription in the same language that was written on the stove. It was written that this is a hidden library. He opened the door. Once inside, he was ecstatic. The place was underground, but it was still light. He hadn't read any of these books, and they looked very old. While looking around, he noticed one book. Noah walked over to the book and picked it up. This book contains the basics of ancient magic. For Noah, this book was strange. He thought it was quite complicated. It looks like he will have to study it for a long time. But he had plenty of time. Right now, however, he was bitterly hurt by his father's words. Embroidery is a talent that his father dismissed. A talent that only allows you to read and understand various symbols, but completely useless in modern magic. But decoding can transform the structure of the world. Because it's filled with symbols, but right now Noah doesn't know that. The head of the family said that Noah will leave the Aldaheim mansion when he is 15 years old. Although Noah was the eldest son, he would never be able to become the head of the family without a magical talent in his father's opinion. Noah humbly accepted his father's decision. Today is Noah's last day at the Aldaheim mansion, and it was Noah's last day at the Aldaheim mansion at the age of 15. Until now, he was used to being ignored, but he still thanked everyone for everything. He never forgot to thank his servants, just because he wanted to. They talked to Noah, were kind and helpful. He needed what was natural for a human being, and it made him want to behave the same way to someone else. With the thought that everything will be fine, he left the house. Noah's name was called from outside, stopping him. It was the boy who was gloating over Noah being kicked out of the house. The customer was the 13-year-old second son of the Aldaheim family, Glenn Aldaheim. Glenn said that the next chapter was him forgetting to mention his superiority in using and attacking Magi, and it has a fire element. Noah said he knew. Every living creature has magical abilities, but magic cannot be used without talent. Modern magic is only available to a select few. Noah says that he will miss the other one, despite their different moms, as they are brothers anyway. Glenn replies that he won't miss him, calls him a disgrace to the Aldaheim family, and expresses joy at his passing. Noah asks why he's smiling. Glenn says he just thinks the same. Glenn expresses annoyance, calling Noah stupid and reproaching him for his inability to use magic, and summons a magic spell, causing the flame to burst into a magic ball. It activates the first level of flame, creating a fireball. He attacked magic. Glenn has impressive magic, but only at the beginner level so far. Noah used wind magic. Glenn wonders why the magic disappeared, and wonders how it could have happened. Noah read all the ancient grimoires in the hidden library because of his ability. Its ancient magic allows you to decipher ancient symbols. However, these symbols are significantly different from modern ones. A single symbol can have many meanings and contain powerful magic. Understanding ancient magic was a challenge. He persisted in deciphering the grimoires every day. It took him 10 years for the ancient symbols to become a part of himself, and he was able to use magic without saying the spells out loud. Noah can use ancient magic thanks to the grimoires left in their mansion and his talent for deciphering them. It also seems to be able to influence modern magic. Glenn expresses disbelief and calls it nonsense, claiming that his magic is perfect. Noah, in turn, suggests that fire magic may be dangerous for this place. Glenn abruptly orders Noah to shut up, insisting that he get out of the house, since he can't do magic. Noah agrees tacitly. He and Glenn never got along, and he's sad to leave on that note. Noah says regretfully that it's time for him to leave. Noah reflects on the fact that all his life all he did was read books. Now it's time to see with your own eyes all that was written in these books. He understands that first of all he needs to earn money in order to be able to travel around the world, otherwise it is not feasible. Noah decides that it's best to become an adventurer. Noah uses the skywalk technique and takes a step. He doesn't know how far he can go with this magic, but he decides to leave the land of Aldheim first and head to the Adventurers Guild. Looking up, he thanked his father for all that he had done for him. Glenn calls out his father's name. Hildegand asks what's the matter. Glenn reports that Noah has finally left the mansion. My father replies that everything is clear. His father informs Glenn that there is a more important event. Her Highness, Princess Claudia, the second princess of the Raste Kingdom, is coming to visit them in the next few days. He warns Glenn to prepare to be nice to her. Glenn said he understood and was ready. Hildegand responds with a pat of approval. Hildegand stood up and looked out of the window. And he asked Noah not to hate him and hoped that everything would be all right. Hildegand said that the Aldheim family does not need people without magical talent and expresses relief that the shame of the family is gone. Noah decides to take a last look at the shopping district. He is amazed that the shopping district is bustling with life. Noah remembers that his father only took him once, to a banquet at the castle, and he never really went outside the mansion. The merchant calls Noah, offering to try the specialty sandwich of the shopping district. Noah asks in surprise if the merchant is speaking to him. Noah hesitates a bit and asks for one sandwich. The merchant agrees and says that the price is 1 silver piece. Noah asks if I can pay in gold. The merchant apologizes for his rudeness, suggesting that Noah is one of the rich. Noah replies that this is all he has. Surprised, the merchant returns Noah's changed 99 silver coins and passes him a sandwich. Noah thanks him. The merchant says that at first he thought that Noah was one of the sons of Aldheim who had run away. Noah thinks that everything is clear and decides that it is better not to show himself in the lands of Aldheim. He enjoys the delicious food. Noah asked the coachman where they were going, and the coachman said he was going straight to Lebelup and offered to go with them. Lebelup is the territory of Vagesti in the east. Noah agreed and paid Kusher. Noah says he's always wanted to take a ride in a vehicle like this. Vashav got into the cart and said hello and apologized for the trouble. They ask him why he should go to Lebelup. Noah explains that he wants to go to the Adventurers Guild to earn some money. The long-haired man said that things are. Noah said that this was not always the case, and people started by fertilizing the dried-up soil. The long-haired man noted that Noah was knowledgeable and the place was poor at one time, but it had been a long time since then. Noah explains that he learned about this from the book. Edgar says that few people know the history of the city, and introduces himself as a merchant. The old man offers to talk about his teenage years if Noah is interested. Noah happily agrees to listen. The old man says you don't read first-hand stories in books. To understand the essence of things, you need to study them directly. Noah is happy that he took the cart, noting that it was a good decision. Something caught the coachman's attention, and he abruptly stopped the cart. Loshidan startled both see, and Edgar asks in surprise what happened. The coachman tries to calm the horse down. In front of him was broken cart. The demon attacked another wagon. The old man said that this isn't a class wind tiger monster, but there must be a D and E class creature here. Edgar notices that the monster is already being fought and expresses regret for the people in the cart. He thinks they'd better get out of here sooner. And he apologizes and says that if they fight, the number of corpses will only increase, that he would help them. The people in the cart look on in surprise, and the old man objects to Noah, saying that helping him will only lead to him risking his life in vain. Noah thanks them for their concern, but says he can't do anything else. No one ever helped him, and it was hard to put it into words. Therefore, he understands those who need help now. Noah uses the magic of landing, orders you to go ahead, and thanks you for interesting stories. The howl of the demon caused a strong wind that Noah was very hungry. He remembers reading in one of the books that the wind tiger is very good at fighting in the air. Noah mentions that the book advised keeping the wind tiger on the ground to limit its maneuverability. However, it now faces additional challenges. The demon attacked by summoning wind, but Noah was able to fight it off before it hit the knight. Noah gets Wind Tiger's attention by shouting at him to come over to him. He decides that he must first turn the Wind Tiger's attention to himself. The Wind Tiger always accepts an invitation to fight in a dogfight. Thanks to Noah, people are temporarily safe, hedging the demon's attacks. Noah has never used ancient attack magic in combat, but he feels that he has no other choice. The knight at the bottom threw his sword towards the demon. The demon repelled the knight's attack and turned its attention to him. Butu had to counterattack faster. He used purple fire against the Wind Tiger. The girl looked on admiringly. Noah is relieved that he finally made it. One of the rescued people thanked Noah for protecting them. Noah apologized for being so late. He wanted to leave, but was stopped. The girl who was with the knight went to thank A for saving Noah and suggested they go with them to the Aldeheim estate. Noah refused because he was in a hurry and said that their best gratitude to him was for their safety. He skipped the name of his savior and calf, and found that the name of the savior and calf was Noah. The guard says that the horse is safe, and we need to go on. The girl agrees. Noah used teleportation magic. The girl considered Noah an outstanding wizard, and it seemed to her that his appearance was familiar. Noah has teleported, and he's breathing a sigh of relief. Noah notices that he spent a lot of magic power on the transition, and notes that this is the first time someone has thanked him. He casually thought that he had managed to make his disastrous talent in decoding a little more useful. He decides to take a break and then head to Lebeloop. The second princess of the Raste Kingdom came to the Aldeheim Manor, and Hildegand thanked them for coming all the way to his residence. The Aldeheim family welcomed Her Majesty Claudia, and she thanked Herr Hildegand for the invitations. Glenn admires Princess Claudia, noting that she is incredibly beautiful and that he has never seen such beauty. He proudly adds that it belongs to him. The head of the family, watching from the side, mentally decided that if Glenn married Claudia, the family's position would become even more stable, and it was important that Glenn did not fail in this matter. Hildegand expresses his joy that they got there without incident. Claudia clarifies that this is not entirely true, adding that they were attacked by a wind tiger. The family head asked how they had survived the wind tiger class a monster. The guard says that if the princess didn't want to leave the castle, this wouldn't have happened. The princess replies that she is just bored in the castle, and so she decided to go out. The princess apologizes and explains that they were helped by a passing wizard who killed the wind tiger with a single violet flame attack. Hildegand thought that the violet flame did not exist in modern magic. Then he would say out loud that he had never heard of such a thing, even though most great wizards knew each other. Princess Claudia describes the wizard as a very polite person with pleasant dark hair and a sharp eye. And she clarifies that this wizard's name is Noah. Hildegand thinks that the dark hair and the name Noah don't match up with his idea of a clueless person who can't use magic. Hildegand then says he doesn't know. Princess Claudia asks where Aldeheim Noah, the eldest son of the Hildegand family, is. She adds that it wasn't until she was here that she remembered. Princess Claudia says that Mr. Noah was at a reception at Raste Castle. Hildegand replies that there is no Noah in their family and that their eldest son is Glenn. Glenn, addressing the princess, mentions that he is also a fire wizard. The princess said that she would have to postpone the conversation about a marriage of convenience and after returning to the capital of the kingdom, study the affairs of the Aldeheim family in more detail. After saying goodbye, the princess left. This was bad for Hildegand, because if the eldest son's banishment from the family was rumored, the name of Aldeheim would be tarnished. The princess's chaperone apologized for the princess' rudeness. Hildegand says it's okay, but mentally decides to find Noah and get him back before Claudia does. He informs Glenn that he will be leaving the house for a while and asks him to take care of himself. Glenn is left wondering what's wrong with his marriage of convenience to a beautiful wife. Noy returns to Lebeloop, Vagedi territory. Standing in front of the Adventurers Guild, Noah apologizes for bothering him and adds that first of all you need to go through registration. A strange girl asks if someone can immediately go to the volcano Lebelupa. She reports that an S-class monster, Fafnir, has been discovered near the Lebelupa volcano. She adds that Lady Serena is currently there, who, in her opinion, is trying to subdue the fire dragon. The public exclaims that the S-class monster Fafnir, which has brought the kingdom of Raste to the brink of destruction, is a serious threat. They wanted to rush to Lady Serena's aid, but one of them also says that their help may be useless if they can't act effectively. Some people claim that Lady Serena is the strongest member of the guild, and this is no reason to leave her in the lurch. A strange girl feels guilty because she gave out a task. Noah, watching them, decided to go there and get Lady Serena back. He told the crowd that he would go to the Lebeloop volcano and collect Lady Serena from there. I asked Noah what rank he was as an adventurer. He replied that he hadn't registered with the guild yet. The crowd was noisy. Someone in the crowd was shouting to stop the action. Someone decided to appeal to the Raste kingdom to send a court magician. Someone in the crowd was calling on Lady Serena to hold on. Noah isn't an adventurer yet, so their disbelief at his word isn't surprising. Noah observes and deduces that everyone is desperate for Lady Serena and that she is a really important person to them. He thinks that if something happens to Lady Serena, many people will grieve. He realizes that he must hurry to help, as she will face the S-class monster Fafnir and will be forced to face it alone. Noah is sure that the ancient magic that worked on the Wind Tiger and a class monster will also work on Fafnir. Noah uses teleportation magic to travel to the Lebeloop volcano. Lebelupa volcano. Lady Serena wonders how Noah ended up here. An S-class Fafnir monster. Lady Serena realizes that she is no match for an S-rank monster. He asks Lady Serena if she is the Lady Serena. Noah uses the ancient magic of absolute flame against the monster. Fire against fire. Fafnir can resist absolute flame. Feeling the great magic power, Noah strengthened the spell, but the power of the fire still wasn't enough. Serena is shocked and wondered what it was. Surprised and alarmed, she asked him who he was and how he got here. Noah introduced himself, saying that his name was Noah and that he wanted to become an adventurer. Lady Serena is surprised to hear about Noah's desire to become an adventurer. Noah replies that he needs to deal with Fafnir first. Serena wanted to stop Noah because this monster wasn't even something an adventurer could handle. Noah persevered, but couldn't defeat the monster. Noah notices that the effectiveness of his magic is expected to be lower than against the Wind Tiger. Someone called Noah a monster. Noah says that he is very offended when he is called a monster. Lady Serena wonders if that's what she said. Noah stared in surprise as someone asked him what kind of magic he had. The monster claimed that it had just awakened from the seal and that it had first encountered Lady Serena and now Noah. Noah asked Fafnir if he had talked all the time. Fafnir replied with a grin that he was interested, as he didn't think anyone would be able to talk to him. Noah said he was as surprised as Fafnir. Noah apologized for attacking Fafnir so suddenly, and explained that they were not hostile to him. Fafnir asked incredulously if they could be trusted, and added that they had come to put a new seal on him. Noah explained that it wasn't like that. The girl who fought first came here to destroy the fire dragon, and he followed her. Noah promised that he would not harm Fafnir again. Fafnir asked incredulously if this was true. Lady Serena exclaimed, wondering if Noah was really talking to Fafnir. She admitted that she didn't understand what they were talking about at all, and asked if it was the language of monsters. Noah made a mental note that he had unconsciously switched to Fafnir, and explained aloud to Serena that they were speaking an ancient language. Fafnir, noticing that Noah was kind-hearted and able to communicate, expressed his relief. He also mentioned that he is a herbivore. Noah remembered reading in books that many dragon species could speak, but only in the ancient language. Fafnir confirmed this, adding that he had been a bit rowdy in the past, which is why he was sealed for a long time. Noah assured Lady Serena that everything was fine now and that Fafnir wasn't a bad monster. Lady Serena, surprised, asked if he was joking. Serena, still at a loss, asked if Fafnir really wasn't bad. Serena said that even if Fafnir didn't have any hostile intentions, the Raste Kingdom wouldn't leave such a monster alone. Noah agreed, confirming her words. Noah, speaking to Fafnir, said that if he stayed here, it was likely that other people would come to seal him up, so he offered to sign a henchman contract with him. Fafnir asked in surprise what a minion's contract was and whether it would be made between him and a human. Fafnir explained that the minion contract would give him protection and asked him to sign it. Noah said yes. Fafnir pointed out that signing a minion contract would require advanced rune magic, and asked if Noah was concerned about that. Noah said he wasn't afraid of it. Serena, watching what was happening, asked in disbelief what was going on. Noah revealed that he had made a contract with Fafnir as a henchman. Now Lady Serena can also talk to Fafnir. Fafnir expressed surprise that the contract was made surprisingly easily, noting that it was due to Noah being a monster. Serena asked in surprise if the dragon was Fafnir. Noah replied that it looked like the henchman's contract had reduced him in size. Noah introduced himself, saying that his name was Noah, and expressed his joy at meeting him. Fafnir replied that it was a mutual pleasure to meet them. Serena added that she was also happy and introduced herself as Serena. Noah noticed that Fafnir had changed so much that he was not recognized even in the city. Fafnir replied that perhaps people would finally stop sealing it. Serena was surprised to see that he was actually talking. Noah was happy to make new friends. Fafnir found the situation funny and called Noah a funny guy. And Serena was surprised how quickly and easily everything was resolved. The unknown girl expressed her joy at seeing Lady Serena alive and apologized, saying that it was all her fault. Serena, in turn, reassured the girl, noting that everything ended well and there is no need to worry. Fafnir thanked Serena for informing the guild that she hadn't met any Fafnir. Serena asked where Noah was going to spend the night. Noah said he hadn't decided where to spend the night yet, as he didn't have much money and might have to spend the night outdoors. Fafnir added that he didn't care. Serena, feeling a little awkward, politely invited Noah to come to her place. She clarified that she didn't mean anything special and just wanted to thank Noah for his help. She has a spare room at home that she can offer. Noah asked if Serena was sure. She confirmed that she was sure, and added that she would also prepare the food, as she was a good cook. Noah noted that the food was delicious. Fafnir agreed, adding that it is indeed so and very tasty. Serena expressed her joy that she liked the food. Serena suggested not to be shy and eat plenty, adding that she has a supplement. Noah thanked her, and Serena expressed surprise, noting that Noah first appeared out of nowhere and then blew Fafnir away. Noah explained that he used ancient magic. Serena, laughing, admitted that she didn't know much about it. Serena suggested that Noah, who wanted to become an adventurer, go to the guild and register the next day. She offered to help, as she was the oldest and could explain everything. Noah thanked Serena using her title. She replied that you can just call her Serena, without honors. Noah was a little embarrassed and tried to say her name, and Serena suggested that he not use it at all, if it was easier. The next day, a strange girl asked Noah to fill out the necessary fields on the form first. Noah said that he had completed the form. A strange girl asked if the dragon was his assistant. Noah confirmed it. Noah showed him the collar and explained that it was a collar with a sign of the henchman's contract, so that people in the city would not perceive the dragon as a wild monster. Fafnir thanked Noah for the collar and said it was great. Serena added that the collar looked good on him. Noah added that he had carved a stringy rune on the collar so that it wouldn't break when Fafnir returned to his original form. The unknown girl interrupted the conversation, apologizing for waiting and turning to Noah. She said that now you need to go to another room to evaluate the talent. Noah expressed doubts about the talent assessment. Fafnir noticed that his magic power was suddenly in disarray. Noah explained that he had bad memories of evaluating a talent, but decided not to mind and suggested that we go. The appraiser introduced himself as Carl and said it was a pleasure to meet you. Noah introduced himself in response, and Carl suggested that we get down to business. The appraiser asked what is meant by decryption. Carl expressed surprise and noted that Noah has a very rare talent. Noah expressed surprise. Carl explained that in all 10 years of work, this is the first person with a talent for decoding, but this talent is not quite suitable for adventurism. He offered to find Noah another job. Noah thanked Carl and declined the offer. Carl warned him that the adventurer profession was full of dangers and wished him to be careful, adding that he looked forward to his success. Noah was relieved that his talent wasn't recognized as mediocre. The dragon noted that Carl is a good person and added that Noah's talent cannot be ignored. Serena said that now was the time for his first quest. Serena explained that Noah, who has an F rank, should start by completing gathering tasks. In the eastern forest known as Lebeloop, the task was to collect 10 medicinal herbs. The task is recommended for those who have the F rank. A reward of 4 silver coins will be awarded for completing the task. Noah asked how much food he could buy for the reward, and he answered that it was enough for 4 sandwiches. Serena said that's where everyone starts. While in the eastern forest of Lebeloop, Fafnir noted that in order to find a specific plant in such a large forest, you will have to try hard. Noah replied that he didn't find it particularly difficult and used material detection magic. Noah explained that his spell allows you to instantly identify the location of various materials. The dragon noticed that Noah was doing something unthinkable again. He noted that it was the creator of this ancient magic, not he, who had gone beyond the realm of imagination. Fafnir replied that Noah was also an unusual person to be able to use this magic. Noah completed the task. Noah mentioned that they had collected not only medicinal herbs, but also other useful plants. Serena, showing no surprise. Carl expressed surprise, saying he couldn't believe how much they had collected and made it so quickly. He noted with admiration that among the herbs collected, there was even a rare panacea and magic herbs, all in perfect condition. And he praised Noah for successfully completing the first quest, and Noah thanked him for the compliment. Carl expressed surprise at the result of Noah's work, noting that he did not expect this from a person with a talent for decoding. He added that even his experience as an appraiser could not have predicted such success. Noah pointed out that he was still a novice, and that novice adventurers often spent half a day just searching for medicinal herbs. Carl asked what quests Noah planned to work on next. Noah said he hadn't decided yet. He said that he had a quest that he would like to entrust to Noah. Noah was happy to accept it, and Mr. Carl said that Mr. Noah would be able to help them if he took on this search. The location for the quest is the eastern forest of Lebeloop. The goal is to find 1 magic flower. The recommended quest rank is B, and the reward is 5 platinum coins. Carl explained that magic flowers are an ingredient for creating the elixir of life. Noah added that according to rumors, this elixir cures all diseases. Carl confirmed it. Noah noticed that the quest is B ranked, whereas at the moment, you can only take E ranked quests, which is 1 level higher than your current rank. Carl explained that if a guild member made a recommendation, it would be fine. He added that if the quest fails, he will pay the compensation himself. Noah asked why take the risk, even with the compensation. Carl explained that his daughter was suffering from an unknown condition. He added that he had contacted all the doctors in Lebeloop, but none of them had been able to help. The only way to heal his daughter is to use the power of the elixir of life. Carl reported that he had already obtained the panacea, holy water, and mermaids' tears needed to create the elixir. He added that the search for the magic flower ended in failure. This flower was originally a rare plant that was only found a few times a year, but over the past couple of years, it couldn't even be found once. Carl noted that despite the failures in the search, Noah showed excellent results. He expressed the hope that Noah would be the one to find the magic flower. And he added that he is the customer of this quest and expressed the hope that Noah will not refuse to help him. Noah agreed to take up the search. Mr. Carl thanked Noah. Fafnir asked if it would be easier to cure the disease with ancient magic. Noah explained that ailments are more related to medicine than magic, although magic can deal with some of them. Noah suggested checking on Carl's daughter first. Carl agreed and said that when the day's work was over, they could go to his house. The door swung open and someone stepped inside. Out of breath, he told Carl that there was trouble with Lady Carla. Herr Carl was hurrying home. Carl, calling out his wife's name, Sarah, asked about Carl. The doctor said that she suddenly lost consciousness and no longer comes to, despite the fact that everything is fine with her body. Noah apologized and wanted to say something about the girl, but the doctor, who was focused on the emergency, told him not to distract him. Noah reported that the girl has a syndrome of hardening of the magical meridians, in which the capacity of the channels through which magical energy flows is disrupted. He explained that magical energy constantly circulates in the bodies of living beings, regardless of whether they know how to use it. Noah added that only a small amount of energy is flowing in the girl's body at the moment, and he pointed out that the disease belongs to the field of magic, not medicine, so it is not surprising that its cause is unknown. Carl asked if Noah could cure her. Noah replied that he was currently pouring in his energy to temporarily alleviate the symptoms, but that the power of the elixir was still needed to fully heal. Noah said that he urgently needed to go to the forest in search of a magic flower. Serena noticed that it would soon be dark and it would be dangerous to go alone, so she offered to accompany him. Carl said that Noah doesn't have any magic tools to search for. Noah, surprised, asked what kind of tools they were. Serena explained that it is possible to use magic search tools for high difficulty quests, but it is not known how long it will take to get them from the supervisor. Noah said that the situation does not tolerate delays, and he can do without tools. He assured them that they would certainly find the magic flower. Carl thanked Noah and Serena, and Sarah told them to be careful. Noah used spatial transition magic, and they instantly moved into the forest. To find the magic flower, Noah activated the material detection spell. Noah asked if Serena would mind running for a while, to which she said she would. Noah used acceleration magic to move faster. A magical flower blooms in a place steeped in magic, matching its name. Fafnir noted that the area had been home to fairies for several hundred years, but was surprised that none of them were visible now. Serena suggested that the fairies might have moved elsewhere, but Fafnir doubted that the creatures used to living in seclusion had left their cozy forest. Fafnir suggested that if you consider the fact that fairy flowers are grown by fairies, and that their growth has stopped recently, then perhaps the fairies were taken away or something happened to them. Serena sensed something, and Fafnir noted that she had a great sense of perception. Serena reported that something was approaching them. Soon, a monster came out of the forest and started attacking. Serena dodged the monster's attack. She started to fight the monster using her skills. Serena's attack on the monster was ineffective, and she turned to Fafnir. Fafnir dealt with the monster. Noah praised them, noting the team's perfect coordination. He confessed that he didn't even know there was a monster in that place. Serena noted that Noah really does look like a novice adventurer. Fafnir added that there is a big difference between skills and actual combat experience. Serena asked how things were going, to which Noah replied that he felt a faint response from the magic flower. They headed for the response. A lake appeared in front of them. They were surprised when they discovered that the magic flower's response came from the bottom of the lake. They wondered why the flower grows at the bottom of the lake, because magic flowers are not aquatic plants. Noah said that despite everything, the magical energy is focused on the bottom of the lake. Serena said they had no other choice anyway. She said she didn't like swimming. Noah was the first to dive into the water to check what was at the bottom of the lake. Using air cover magic, Noah descended to the bottom of the lake. Serena commented that Noah was back to his usual routine. As Noah descended to the bottom of the lake, he noticed a spatial gap. The space gap is a type of ancient magic that allows you to move freely to the place where it leads, and back again. Noah was surprised and asked who could have created the space gap and for what purpose. Fafnir sensed a faint trace of fairy magic, and Noah noticed that the magic flower's response was also coming from this spatial gap. Noah pointed out that only fairies are not capable of creating such magical breaks, and assumed that they were taken away by someone. Noah touched the space gap and found that it was protected by a barrier. Fafnir tried to destroy the barrier, but it didn't work out because the barrier was in the water. Noah asked for some time to try to remove the barrier on his own. Noah said that the barrier was quite difficult, but he was able to eliminate it. Fafnir noticed that Noah had an unexpected opportunity to gain combat experience and offered to determine where the monster is located. Noah determined that the monster was behind them. The monster surrounded them. A sea snake appeared before them. They were surprised to see a sea snake in a freshwater lake because its natural habitat is the sea. The sea serpent spoke, expressing its displeasure at having to interrupt its peaceful sleep. He asked Noah what he was doing underwater and at night. Noah noticed that the sea serpent spoke the language of monsters and was surprised to find another monster speaking. The sea serpent said that if he didn't deal with the intruders, the spirit of darkness wouldn't be happy. Noah asked who the spirit of darkness was, but the sea serpent replied that he did not know and that it was best not to anger this spirit. The sea serpent reported that the spirit of darkness appeared out of nowhere and pulled him out of the sea. Noah thanked the sea serpent for the information. The monster was surprised that Noah was talking to him and expressed shock. Noah explained that being able to talk to creatures is part of his talent for decoding. Noah tried to avoid unnecessary conflicts and asked the monster to let him pass. The monster refused to let Noah pass, saying it would rather eat him here. Fafnir noted that the monster had a much more bloodthirsty nature compared to him. Noah successfully evaded the monster's attacks by using the sky walk magic. Fafnir decided to deal with the enemy himself and ordered Noah to leave. Fafnir reminded Noah of his purpose, emphasizing that he wanted to save the girl. Fafnir strongly advised Noah to hurry, as the girl's body will not last long. Noah thanked Fafnir. Noah created an air cover for Fafnir. Fafnir replied that Noah could rely on him. Noah was moving forward. The serpent tried to stop Noah, but Fafnir stopped him. Leaving everything on Fafnir, Noah headed towards the space gap, as the magic flower should have been there. Noah decided to get the magic flower without fail, even though he didn't know where the space gap led. He breathed a sigh of relief as he found himself in an unknown space. He noticed daylight and realized that he had been teleported so far away that the time zone had changed dramatically. Noah realized that he was wrong, and realized that this space was created by magic. Noah heard whimpering noises. The girl sobbed and mumbled that everyone had been caught and didn't know what to do. Noah thought the girl was hurt. He used. Noah apologized for the possible fright, explaining that he had used healing magic. The girl thanked Noah, saying that she was very grateful to him. Noah introduced himself as an aspiring adventurer. He asked if the girl was a fairy, to which she replied that she was, and asked Noah if he was human. Noah explained that his talent is decoding. The fairy girl said that she now understands why Noah can talk to her despite being human. Noah replied that it probably had something to do with his abilities. The fairy girl said that initially they, the fairies, lived in the forest of Lebaloop. She added that then an evil spirit of darkness appeared, which caught them and imprisoned them in this space. The fairy girl reported that all the fairies except her were being held in a prison near a large tree. Noah asked a question, trying to figure out why the spirit of darkness needed fairies and what he planned to do with them. The fairy girl told him that she herself did not know the answer to this question. The fairy girl suddenly asked Noah what he was doing in this place. Noah explained that he needed to find a magic flower to cure the sick girl. The fairy, hearing this, understood the gravity of the situation and noted that the matter was really important. The fairy girl confirmed that magic flowers really do grow in this place. They came to a huge tree. and saw the fairies trapped in cages. It was terrible. The fairy girl stopped Noah, warning him that if he continued to move further, he would be attacked. They saw a guardian golem. The fairy explained that the golem guards this place during the absence of the spirit of darkness. To save the fairies and collect the magic flowers, Noah first needs to defeat the guardian golem. The fairy girl was afraid for Noah, but he assured her that he would definitely free her friends. Noah advised the fairy girl to hide in a safe place, to which she responded by thanking him and telling him to be careful. Noah reflected that to defeat the golem, he would need to rewrite the ancient symbols engraved on his chest. But first you need to do damage and immobilize it. The golem attacked Noah. During the attack, the golem crushed the magic flower. The golem struck first, sending Noah flying. The fairy exclaimed when she noticed that Noah had been hit by the golem. Noah thought that he had drawn the ancient symbols of protection on the mantle for a reason. The golem's attack power was considerable, and he realized that this guardian golem was quite high level. Getting another hit would be highly undesirable. He used trajectory shifting magic to avoid the golem's impact. Noah knew better than to let the golem continue to trample on the flowers. He used absolute flame magic. The absolute flame had no effect on the golem. He used magic shot. Noah continued to attack the golem with magic shot magic. The fairy girl continued to watch Noah. All of Noah's magic attacks against the golem had no effect, and the golem continued to advance. Noah received another blow from the golem, and he realized that the golem was made of mithril. Mithril is a magic-resistant ore. Noah thought that spells could break through mithril, but if even ancient spells were ineffective, then it was probably the highest quality mithril used here. Noah realized that ancient magic couldn't defeat a golem, and he realized that this golem was the most inconvenient opponent for him due to the fact that mithril makes it resistant to magic. The guardian golem started attacking again. Noah exclaimed that the situation was complicated and was about to use the spatial transition, but was interrupted. Golem shook Noah. Noah wondered how he could defeat the golem. He considered how to erase the symbols on the golem's chest without disabling its mobility, but concluded that it was impossible due to the strong barrier. Noah realized that it was impossible to escape without defeating the guardian golem. He realized that he couldn't save the fairies or bring the magic flower to Carl, and he thought that if his talent was combat, he would have found a way to defeat the enemy without magic. But he only has the decipherment and ancient spells. Noah realized that even though the ancient spells didn't work on this golem, there was no other way than to defeat it with them. He used absolute flame magic against the golem, and changed the formula to increase the power of ancient magic. He wanted breakthrough the magic defensive as all. Noah concentrated, thinking about how to uncover the ancient symbols and put magic into them as deeply as possible. He knew that in order to win, he needed to plunge into the very depths of his magic power. He had to unravel ancient symbols and put magic into them with unprecedented power. Noah was determined to return to Carl with the magic flower and not let himself be defeated in this challenge. Suddenly, as he was trying to accumulate the last drops of magic for a decisive strike, the world around him began to blur. His head was spinning and his vision was blurry. Noah could feel his body getting heavy, and the magic currents were starting to slip out of control. His magic supply was running low, and every move he made was becoming more difficult. At that moment, the golem attacked Noah again. He started to lose consciousness. Noah, immersed in the darkness and chaos, suddenly heard the sound of pages being flipped. He found himself in an unfamiliar space, and seeing only books around him, he asked in confusion where he was and what had happened to the guardian golem. Noah looked at the book and noticed that the writing was very ancient and complex. Noah started reading a book that said that the golem is made of mithril and has enhanced magical protection thanks to complex formulas. It was also mentioned that the spell is related to the spirit of darkness, and the book contains information about the golem. Noah was surprised to find that the book exuded incredible magical power. It seemed to be the source of ancient magic, and he couldn't understand why. He wondered if the magic power of the book was so great. Perhaps it was possible to rewrite the formulas to find a way to deal with the golem. And I decided to change the natural properties of mithril from anti-magic to those that promote the passage of magic. Noah found the Book of Peace in front of him. The fairy, noticing Noah in a faint, began to call him to come to his senses. Noah, who has regained consciousness, realizes in a panic that he has lost consciousness and begins to wonder what is happening to him. The golem attacked Noah again, but was saved by the fairy. The fairy said the golem couldn't get them. Noah thanked her for saving him from the golem while he was unconscious. Noah said it was all right now. But the fairy protested that this was not the case, since the golem was still hostile. Noah reflected that he didn't have much magic left and noted that even the most powerful absolute flame didn't affect the golem. The fairy asked Noah to come to his senses and suggested that they better run. Noah thought that what he saw in the Book of Peace was just a dream. He thought about the Book of the World that he had seen. He had never encountered such texts and was unaware of their existence. It was doubtful whether this mysterious book could really influence his magic and help him deal with the golem. And he knew that changing the basis of the world would not be so easy. However, at the moment, he had no choice but to rely on the power of the Book of Peace. Noah decided to try rewriting the formulas to change the properties of mithril and ease the effect of magic on the golem. He realized that just damaging the ancient symbols on the golem's chest was enough. Noah was able to damage the ancient symbols on the golem's chest. After breaking through its defense, it tore a hole on the golem's chest. This decisive action weakened the golem, allowing Noah to defeat it and win. The fairy exclaimed in delight, expressing her surprise and admiration for Noah. Noah was stunned. The changes he made to the book had a real impact on the situation. He couldn't understand what the Book of the World was, or how it could change reality so much. The guardian golem is completely disabled, and there is a lot of precious mithril left. Noah placed all the remaining golem items in his inventory. He freed the fairies from their cages. The fairy girl thanked Noah for saving her friends. The other fairies were afraid of him, but the fairy girl convinced them that Noah was very good. A new spatial gap formed near the tree trunk. Noah can now leave this place, and all he has to do is collect magic flowers. All the magic flowers were destroyed in the battle. Noah was upset when he saw that he couldn't make the elixir, because all the flowers were broken. Disappointment washed over him when he realized that without this elixir, he wouldn't be able to save Carla. He was agonizing over why he was in this space in the first place if all his efforts had been futile. In the forest of Lebaloop, after finishing the battle with the sea serpent, Fafnir said that it was quite a strong opponent and made him sweat. Serena assumed that the spirit of darkness had enhanced the sea serpent with its magic, and expressed hope that Noah was fine. Fafnir reported that the spatial gap in the lake disappeared as soon as Noah passed through it, and now he can't follow it. Fafnir the dragon wondered if there were any monsters that weren't affected by magic, and wished he hadn't let Noah go alone. He self-criticized that he might have failed as a familiar. Noah apologizes for the delay, and Serena is startled by his arrival. Serena panics and asks Noah how he is, if he's alright. Noah replies that there was a small incident, but overall everything is fine. Fafnir, relieved, says he knew Noah would return unharmed. Noah explains that he came out through a spatial gap. Serena is wondering what's up with the magic flowers. He apologizes, saying that he couldn't get the magic flowers. Serena is surprised, and Noah assures her that everything is fine, and then asks Fafnir to take them to Lebaloop. Fafnir agrees to help and says it's not a problem. Noah thanks him and adds that he no longer has any magic left for spatial transition. Fafnir asked if it was a problem that Noah couldn't collect the magic flower. Noah said it wasn't a problem. Noah assured someone that they could go out and not be afraid of Fafnir, as he was a good dragon. Noah continued to talk to someone and asked for a favor, to which Fafnir was surprised, asking who Noah was talking to and what kind of incomprehensible language it was. Mr. Carl's house. Carl encourages Carla to hold on a little longer. Mr. Carl believes that everything will be fine, and that Noah will certainly return with a magic flower. Carla noticed the fairy and exclaimed that there was a fairy here. Carl, daughter's words, was shocked and asked her to hold on. Sarah exclaimed, pointing to Carl, who asked what was the matter. After that, Carl also noticed the fairy. The fairy asked if Carla was the same Carla Chan. The fairy said that it was time for miracles and advised not to forget to thank Mr. Noah. The fairy turned to her parents, saying that everything would be fine now. Carl thought he was dreaming. Noah saved the fairies trapped in the space gap, and they decided to help him in return. Fafnir was shocked to learn that fairies had appeared in a human city that was full of people and could grow magical flowers in such an unusual place. Fafnir noted that Noah has an amazing talent for deciphering various languages. He added that there doesn't seem to be any barriers for Noah, whether it's monsters or fairies. Fafnir noted with a grin that this behavior was quite expected from someone who had contracted him as a henchman. Noah, not understanding Fafnir's words, asked him what he was mumbling. Noah made an elixir for Carl Chan. Carla Chan was cured of the magic meridian hardening syndrome she was suffering from. Carl thanked Noah for saving his daughter. Noah was glad that Carla Chan was fine now. Carla Chan also thanked Noah for saving her. Noah was a little jealous when he saw their happy family. His own mother had died shortly after he was born, and his father had never shown him any love. He didn't want to disturb the family harmony and decided to leave. But Herr Carl offered to have dinner instead. Carl invited the others, too. Fafnir said that he is a herbivore and was offered white apples, which he adores. The fairy informed Noah that she was also interested in human food. Noah was surprised to see that he hadn't expected to see her here. For the first time, Noah felt like a real family. Everyone gathered at the same table and enjoyed their dinner. The B-rank quest to collect the magic flower has been completed. Noah surrounded the entire forest with a barrier so that no spirit of darkness could enter anymore. The fairy thanked Noah for everything he had done for them, and expressed that he was now like the incarnation of a deity for them. Noah was embarrassed by the words. The fairies asked him to visit their forest, and he agreed. Carl once again thanked Noah for diligently completing the quest and congratulated him on raising his rank to E. As a reward for completing the quest, Noah received the promised 5 platinum coins. But Noah refused to take that much and asked to use it for Carla's future. Mr. Carl insisted, claiming that Noah deserved this award. There were a lot of people gathered in the city on this day because a famous archaeologist from the capital of the Ludolf Kingdom was about to arrive. They needed an accompanying adventurer to explore the ancient ruins in an easterly direction. Serena noticed how interested Noah was in what he was hearing, assuming it had something to do with his use of ancient magic. However, the famous archaeologist was disappointed, as she had come a long way from Ludolf and was looking for someone with a more extraordinary and unusual talent, and all the local adventurers seemed ordinary to her. The archaeologist, interested in an unusual talent for decoding, learned that Noah was a promising newcomer who had recently become an adventurer. She asked him about his rank and the little dragon sitting on his shoulder. Noah replied that he had recently received an E rank, and the little dragon was his familiar, with whom he had signed a minion contract. However, Noah wasn't a good match for the archaeologist, as she was looking for a group of adventurers with a rank at least B, and E rank wasn't considered for her. Carl tried to explain that Noah had B rank experience, but the archaeologist thought it was just luck. Noah reassured Carl, saying that there was nothing wrong with that and that it wasn't worth insisting on. Lady Serena then intervened, noting that Noah's low rank was due to him being new to the adventurer profession. The archaeologist was surprised to find out that Serena is a rank adventurer and a famous swordsman with a group of fans in Ludolf. Impressed, the archaeologist happily offered to take Serena on the expedition, but she declined, explaining that she was not going to leave Lebeloop and recommended Noah, thinking that he was more interested in the ruins. The archaeologist was surprised why Serena would stick up for an E-rank rookie and suggested that he might be her boyfriend. However, Serena was embarrassed and denied this, emphasizing that despite his rank, Noah is incredible, and she is ready to vouch for him with her rank. Serena asked Noah about his injuries and magic power. Noah replied that he was fully recovered, so she offered to fight him, saying it was the only way to prove his strength. The archaeologist was surprised to hear that E rank was going to fight against a rank, calling it ridiculous because of the huge gap in strength. The people around them were also surprised, not understanding who would dare to fight Lady Serena. Serena encouraged Noah, telling him not to use his full strength. Noah agreed and promised to reduce his firepower to the level of sparring, although he warned that his ancient magic could be dangerous. During the fight, Serena showed off her skill, assuring Noah that her punches were not fatal, but painful. She continued to push him, admiring his ability to float in the air. When it was Noah's turn, he used his special spell Absolute Flame. Serena was surprised to see that the flames weren't flying in her direction, but were frozen around Noah. Realizing that Noah was preparing for his next move, Serena was prepared for him to try to attack her from behind using the spatial transition. When Noah used the transition again, he admitted that it was not easy to replay it. And in the end, she admitted defeat. The archaeologist who was watching the fight was amazed that an E-rank representative could defeat an A-rank and demonstrate such a high level of combat. Serena, noticing that their duel was being watched, was surprised and said that she had completely forgotten about it. Noah also admitted that he was so engrossed in the battle that he didn't pay attention. She apologized to Noah for her earlier rudeness and suggested that he become her assistant to explore the ancient ruins. Noah happily agreed. Serena and Noah exchanged parting words. Serena noted that the breakup is too fast, to which Noah agreed. She added that this short experience was like a fairy tale for her, and Noah admitted that he learned a lot, because before that he knew almost nothing about the life of adventurers. Serena even joked that she wouldn't be surprised if Noah was already S-ranked at the next meeting, or even received the title of hero of the Raste Kingdom. Noah replied sheepishly that this was too much of an exaggeration. Serena bade Fafnir take good care of himself, and Fafnir nodded and told him to keep her safe, too. Noah thanked everyone for their help. The archaeologist reported that a magical transport was parked outside the city limits, and they would use it to go to the ruins. Noah once again thanked everyone for their hospitality. Noah said goodbye and left with the archaeologist. The archaeologist introduced herself as Yoon, who works as an archaeologist and magic tool engineer in Ludolf, the kingdom's capital. Noah replied that his name was Noah, and introduced his companion Fafnir, who added that it was a pleasure to meet him. Yoon was surprised to meet a small talking dragon, especially one with such a formidable name as Fafnir. Noah, a little embarrassed, just laughed in response. After that, Noah and archaeologist Yoon began their journey. They went to the ancient ruins on Yun's magic transport, a motorcycle, which greatly interested Noah, as he had never seen such a device before. Although Noah could have used the spatial transition, he preferred this journey, as he had always dreamed of seeing the world. The journey has begun, and when they reached the ruins, Noah was impressed by their grandeur. Yoon suggested that they start exploring immediately, and they started exploring the ancient ruins east of Liudolf. Noah and Yoon started exploring the ruins. Yoon, as the team leader, decided to teach Noah archaeological techniques first. She warned him about the many traps protecting the valuable treasure of the ruins, and advised him to be careful. However, without noticing, Yun stepped on a trap. Noah quickly used a magic barrier to protect them. Yoon was surprised that the traps were actually activated, but then quickly defended herself, saying that she did it on purpose to test Noah. Yun, who was trapped by the ropes, was in a panic. Noah quickly came to her rescue. He noticed that the trap looked like an ancient means of capture. Yoon thanked Noah for saving her and confessed that she had been trapped twice before, but now she was ready for anything. She climbed onto Noah's back and asked him to move on. Noah, a little embarrassed by this position, agreed. Yoon reassured him, promising not to leave him. Fafnir suggested that they go first, and they continued on their way. Soon, they came across the symbols on the wall. Yoon asked what to do next, to which Noah replied that there were no hidden traps in this room. He was drawn to the symbols on the wall and assumed he could decipher them. Yoon asked if Noah could read them with his decoding talent. Noah confirmed this and began to study the symbols. Noah read the symbols on the wall that were part of an ancient diary. They contained the father's personal notes about his daughter, who, despite growing up, behaved ill-mannered, and the father was worried about her future. Yoon was stunned and didn't understand what it meant, but Noah explained that it was an ancient diary. Noah continued reading and found an entry stating that the year of the runic calendar, the time of water, was the perfect day for teaching his daughter magic. Noah noted that the runic calendar is mentioned for the first time, and the current year according to the calendar of civilization is 779. That is, more than 779 years have passed. Yoon assumed that this area was once inhabited by an ancient people. The next entry said that the author should go to defeat the dream turtle, despite the difficulties. Noah wondered what kind of dream turtle it was. Yoon offered to continue the search for the great treasure of the ancient ruins, to which Noah agreed. However, they soon discovered that they were facing a dead end. Fafnir reported that they had already explored everything in these ruins. Yoon, disappointed that their journey didn't work out. She reminded Noah that in her experience, research on ruins often failed to produce results. However, she offered to read the ancient records and soon noticed that there was something else written on the wall. Noah read the writing on the wall and it says, "Get a book." Intrigued, Yoon pulled a book out of her bag. Noah asked about the book and she said it was her secret notebook and it contained from research notes to all sorts of girly stuff. Noah, seeing that nothing was happening, suggested that it might be the Book of Peace. After trying to summon the book, he was pleasantly surprised when it appeared in front of him. After studying the book, Noah learned that it contains important information about ancient ruins, including the number and location of traps, how to defuse them, and a map of the ruins themselves. He noticed that there was a staircase leading down behind one of the walls. Using his skills, Noah rewrote the necessary formulas to open the hidden door that appeared in front of them. Yoon was amazed at how Noah did it, but decided not to linger and continue her research, asking Noah to wait for her. She noticed that the light in the ruins had lit up on its own, and Noah explained that it was the result of an ancient magic known as the torch. Yeon was startled to notice that the construction of the walls was different from what they had seen before, and was made of a special metal. She was surprised to learn that the ancient civilizations that had built these ruins were vastly superior to the modern ones. Yoon said they had made an important discovery and was thrilled that it was the discovery of the century, while Noah agreed that it was truly amazing. Fafnir was also startled. They stopped moving. "We saw a girl." Yoon thought it was a doll. But Noah found that it was a human being, even though he felt a bit of magic. Noah explained that this is a magical mechanism that probably freezes time. They heard a sound confirming access. Yeon exclaimed in disbelief, "What's going on?" Noah managed to catch the girl, who was beginning to come to her senses. He asked her if she was all right. But the girl replied that she did not understand his language, and without hesitation, hit him. Then she started attacking. Noah thought about her words and guessed that she might be dangerous. When he realized that the girl was using song singing, he realized that the situation was serious. He ordered Fafnir to protect Yeon. Noah versus the girl. Noah and the girl used absolute flame against each other. Noah was amazed that there were still some people in the modern world who could use absolute flame. He wished that the suddenness of it had been enough to keep him in check. And he thought about how the girl had spoken an ancient language, and now she was using ancient magic. This confirmed his suspicion that she might be a survivor of an ancient civilization, since she knew the ancient language. Noah wanted to explain to the girl that he wasn't the enemy, but she kept attacking. He cursed, knowing that it was impossible to talk properly in the current situation. Fafnir came to Noah's rescue. Noah expressed his gratitude. Yoon asked in surprise if Fafnir was really the same Fafnir, to which the dragon replied in the affirmative. Noah tried to calm her down, explaining that they meant her no harm. She also noticed the use of runes and absolute flame, and suspected that Noah might be from the rune tribe. Noah clarified that he didn't belong to the tribe and asked Yoon to give him some time to try to explain the situation. Yoon agreed and waited. The girl found out that she was permanently sealed in a magic tool that stops time. Noah confirmed this and added that thanks to his talent for decoding, he could speak the same language with her and use rune magic. The girl remembered that during the war between humans and devils, her father sent her here. Noah was surprised to learn that the war with the devils had taken place a long time ago. Fafnir confirmed that rumors of a protracted war between humans and devils were known. The girl clarified that it was sealed for so long that even the language and magic of runes are now considered ancient. She asked Noah to lead her to the Sky Tower. The watchtower nearby, which, thanks to the runes, remained unbreakable over time. The girl wanted to see the modern world with her own eyes. Noah asked Yoon to guide her to the Sky Tower. Yoon agreed, adding that they passed her on their way here. The girl was amazed that Noah was using a spatial transition, and noticed that the Sky Tower had a view of the entire Rune Kingdom, Kirkshisha. Kingdom of Runes, Kirkshisha. Ludolf, capital of the kingdom. Noah, looking at the surrounding city, noticed that the royal capital really made a strong impression on him. However, the girl, remembering her native capital of Kirkyuds, said that it was much more striking, and even chuckled a little, as if this was an obvious fact for her. The girl then expressed her surprise, noting that there were too many people and shops in the new capital, which caused her some concern. Noah, surprised by her words, asked if there were fewer people and shops in Kirkshish. The girl confirmed this, adding that she feels uncomfortable in this new, crowded place. At this time, passing girls noticed the girl and, admiring her appearance, compared her to a doll, suggesting that she was probably a foreign princess based on her unusual clothing. Yoon, observing the girl's reactions, noted that the girl's background was immediately obvious to others, while Noah added that her outfit was too different from what is usually worn in the capital. Realizing the need to avoid attracting attention, Noah suggested that the girl temporarily wear his robes to blend in with the crowd, and the girl gratefully accepted his offer. After putting on the robe, the girl admitted that she felt much calmer in it, assuming that this is due to the runes engraved on it. When they finally reached the Yun mansion, she announced their arrival with satisfaction. Once inside, Yoon greeted her servants, and the maid responded to her, expressing her joy at her mistress' return. After that, the maid asked how the next examination went, and Yoon, somewhat casually, replied that everything went quite well. Yoon then introduced Noah and the girl as her companions and asked the maid to be especially attentive to the girl since she was a foreigner. The maid agreed and then invited the guests to take off their clothes. Noah turned to a girl named Alexia and asked her to take off her robe to hand it to the maid. Alexia suddenly froze when she heard the loud sound of her stomach. Blushing a little, she said she was very hungry. Yoon immediately understood and suggested that we go out for lunch. When they were seated at the table, the maid invited them to eat with a smile, and Noah, somewhat embarrassed, politely declined any special requests. He then asked Alexia about her food preferences, but she replied that she had no particular preferences. The maid asked me to wait a bit. Noah, sitting at the table, noted with some surprise how long it had been since he had been served so well. Soon, Yoon introduced them to their chef's signature dish and wished everyone a good appetite. Noah suggested that Alexia start eating, and she, although somewhat hesitantly, agreed to try the food offered. However, it soon became apparent that Alexia was eating food in a rather strange and unusual way. Yoon, watching this, noticed with a smile that her table manners were primitive and laughed at it. Alexia, embarrassed, apologized for her clumsy table manners. Noah tried to calm Alexia down by telling her not to worry about table manners, because if the food was delicious, there was no point in holding back. Alexia admitted that her father was often angry with her for her bad manners, to which Noah replied that this is typical of royal families and offered to help her learn proper manners. Alexia accepted Noah's offer gratefully, and he assured her that it wasn't as complicated as it might seem. Noah encouraged Alexia to continue following his instructions. He praised Alexia, noting that she does an excellent job in training. Alexia noticed that now that she eats properly, the taste of food feels even better. Noah asked for a loaf of bread, preparing to show off something new. He showed Alexia how to cut bread and put meat and vegetables inside, creating a sandwich. Noah explained that the sandwich makes it easier to eat by combining everything together. Alexia agreed to try making and eating the sandwich the way Noah had shown her. Yoon noticed that the sandwich looked delicious and decided to make one for herself as well. After the meal, Yoon reminded everyone that it was time to go wash up. Noah thanked Yoon for everything and suggested that Alexia go take a bath. Yoon confirmed that they were free to go and called Alexia to come with her. She led Alexia to the bathroom, showing her the way, and Noah wished them luck. Fafnir asked Noah why he wasn't going with Yoon and Alexia if he was so worried. Noah answered Fafnir briefly, without explaining the reason. Yoon uttered a phrase in her native language, which caught Alexia's attention. Alexia admitted that without Noah, she couldn't understand her words. She tried to guess what Yun might have said, suggesting that she might have warned her not to get too carried away. You noted that Yoon couldn't see very well without her glasses, and doubted that Yoon could have said what she assumed earlier. However, Alexia sensed something intimidating in her gaze. Alexia tried to calm down, explaining that they were just taking a bath and there was no need to talk during the process. And she assumed that Yoon wanted her to start swimming first. Alexia remembered that Kirkshish used instant rune magic for purification. She was surprised by the foam and bubbles. She assumed that it might be some kind of modern magic, but noted that she liked the fragrance. Alexia realized that it wasn't magic, but a cleaning agent made from recycled plants. Yun admired Alexia's smooth skin and thought that she really looked like a princess from an ancient kingdom. She wondered what Alexia was talking about, realizing that without Noah, she didn't understand her. Yoon suggested that Alexia could say that Yoon is a reliable woman, and Alexia herself is a princess of an ancient kingdom. And she thought that Alexia wouldn't have said such words, but there was something mysterious about her expressionless face. Alexia was naturally expressionless. Yun felt tired and admitted that it was very inconvenient not to understand someone else's language. Both girls breathed a sigh of relief. Yoon showed me a magic tool designed to dry my hair. Alexia used warm air magic. Yun was surprised and admitted that the ancient civilization scares her. Noah asked if the swim had gone well. Yoon replied that the swim was intense, but they managed it. Alexia repeated Yun's words, agreeing with her. Noah was relieved to hear that. He thought about it and noticed that Yoon and Alexia were really getting closer. Noah suggested that Alexia study modern languages to make it easier for her to communicate, and Alexia agreed, promising to try harder. Yoon asked Noah if she could learn to understand ancient speech, to which Noah replied that with her erudition, it was quite possible. Noah pointed out that despite the difference in eras, people from the past and present can find common ground, and Fafnir agreed with him. Yoon and Alexia suggested that Noah take a bath with them next time. Noah flatly refused their offer. Noah said that thanks to his talent for decoding, he was able to read a complex book. He added that this talent also allows him to understand many languages, and that decoding is clearly an underrated gift. Hildegand asked what good it would do. Noah thought Hildegand might hit him again, and begged him not to. He promised to be obedient and follow his father's instructions. However, Noah realized that it was all just a nightmare. Noah wondered where this childhood memory came from. He and Alexia were studying a modern language. Alexia said in English that she would eat bread and a white apple. Noah praised Alexia for starting to understand the modern language better. Alexia explained that this is because Noah is a good teacher. Noah argued that it was all thanks to Alexia's efforts. Alexia asked Noah if he would pat her on the head. Noah agreed and praised Alexia for her progress. Alexia expressed her intention to try harder, and Noah wondered if her father had petted her the same way. Alexia asked if Noah was okay. Noah replied that everything was fine and asked not to worry. Alexia asked if there was something wrong with him. Noah said that everything was fine and suggested that we go to the guild to officially register Alexia as an adventurer. Alexia asked who the adventurer was. Noah explained that he is a kind of handyman who does everything from collecting materials to fighting. Noah added that she will be able to learn a lot about the modern world and earn money. Alexia agreed if it was with Noah. Noah asked Lady Yoon about her plans, but Lady Yun didn't say anything because she was sitting there doing something. Fafnir noted that Lady Yun's concentration when working with machines is simply amazing. Alexia asked her what she was so busy with. Noah explained that Lady Yun was creating a new magic tool and trying to redirect the power of rune symbols. Noah suggested that they go alone while Lady Yoon went about her business. Ludolf, the Adventurers Guild. In the Ludolf Adventurers Guild, Alexia registered as a D-ranked adventurer. Her age was listed as 15, and she was a wizard. Alexia noted that the registration was easy, but at the same time she felt that she was talking very stupidly. Noah explained that Lady Yoon had written a letter of recommendation beforehand, which gave Alexia a D rank right away. Alexia expressed her gratitude and said that Yoon is a wonderful person. Noah added that he himself was also promoted to D rank. Fafnir had said that given Noah's skills, he could even be promoted to S rank. Noah explained that you can only increase your rank by one level at a time. Alexia complained about the large number of people and said that she was tired. Noah suggested that that was enough for one day and suggested that we go home. Alexia felt hungry and her stomach made noises. She said she wanted to eat, and Noah suggested we go to the market. Alexia agreed and suggested that they could take a bath together after dinner, but Noah flatly refused, saying he wouldn't go there. Fafnir offered to join them. Noah remembered that he had just been thinking about Fafnir's field. At this time, they heard footsteps from behind and turned around. Behind them was Noah's father, Hildegand. Noah was surprised by his appearance in the kingdom's capital and asked why he was here. Hildegand said that all explanations would be later and insisted that Noah return to the mansion immediately. Noah objected, pointing out that it was his father who kicked him out, and insisted that he had his own things to do. Hildegand grabbed Noah's arm and told him to be quiet and listen. Noah again refused to return, and Hildegand then declared that he would return him by force. Noah warned Alexia and Fafnir to be careful, pretending that Hildegand was his father and the strongest fire mage. Hildegand launched a fireball attack. Noah was able to resist a large number of fireballs since he had ancient magic. Hildegand noticed the purple fire and remembered Princess Claudia's words about the ancient grimoire. He asked Noah if he had found the ancient grimoire, to which Noah confirmed. Hildegand was pleased and mentally noted that Noah probably learned ancient magic through grimoires thanks to his decoding. Noah's father was surprised that despite Noah's failing talents, this talent proved to be useful. Hildegand insisted that Noah return to the estate immediately, stating that Noah was now worthy of being the next head of the Aldheim family. Noah was forced to decline and explained that his father only sees him as a talent. Hildegand was outraged, saying that for their family, talent is everything. He added that he did not want to cause a riot in the kingdom's capital, but in the current situation, it seems that it will be inevitable. Alexia used squall magic against Hildegand to protect Noah. Noah was surprised by her actions and asked her what she was doing. Alexia said that Hildegand could hurt Noah and advised him not to hold back despite the fact that he is his father. Noah was startled, but Alexia continued to act. Hildegand expressed dissatisfaction with Alexia and continued to harass Noah. Suddenly, there was an earthquake that soon subsided. Some of the residents of the capital were surprised to notice that something caused the shaking. Hildegand said that he would certainly return Noah and warned him not to try to escape, as this would not work. Hildegand then left. Noah thanked Alexia and apologized to her for any problems. Fafnir asked Noah if he had sensed a source of great magical power coming from far away. Noah agreed and expressed surprise at the source. Alexia suggested that it might be a dream turtle. She wondered how the dream turtle could still exist in the modern world. Lady Yun was reporting the threat to the king. She reported that a monster of monstrous size had suddenly appeared in the east of the royal capital and was now moving towards the city. Yun clarified that according to the records found in the ancient ruins, this creature is called the Turtle of Dreams. Princess Claudia was alarmed, and the king pondered and decided to subdue the monster with all the might of the Raste kingdom. The king gave the order to urgently gather the Order of Knights, a division of mages, and summon all adventurers of rank D and above. He also ordered the other nearby adventurer guilds to be notified. Serena and Karl received a letter instructing them to bring as many adventurers as possible to the royal capital of Ludolf. Yun was surprised by the scale of the mobilization, noticing that almost everyone was alerted. She shared her surprise with Noah and Alexia. Yun expressed her gratitude to them for being able to sense the dream turtle's presence right away, and noted that with its speed of movement, it would reach the capital in 3 days, and the pacification would start in the east in 2 days. Noah thought about the fact that there were only 2 days left. Yun said that she would be in the castle planning a strategy based on the information from Alexia, and Noah and Alexia thanked her for her concern. Alexia asked Yun not to exhaust herself and get enough rest. Meanwhile, at Lady Yun's mansion, the maid informed Noah and Alexia that they, too, had been ordered to evacuate. Alexia noticed that the city was unusually quiet. Noah explained that there were only soldiers and adventurers left in the capital to participate in the pacification, and suggested that they rest to save their strength for the final battle. He said goodnight to Alexia. Suddenly, Alexia asked Noah to let her sleep with him. Noah agreed, but felt embarrassed lying next to him. At that moment, Noah was thinking about something. Alexia, apologizing, explained that she was very scared because of the appearance of the Turtle of Dreams, and she could not sleep, constantly remembering the past. Noah understood her and said there was nothing he could do about it. Alexia, somewhat embarrassed, asked Noah about his relationship with his father, wondering if it was really that bad. Noah told Alexia that he comes from the respected magic family of Aldeheim, but that his family disowned him because of his useless talent. Alexia expressed her hope that one day Noah will be able to get along with his family. Noah replied that getting along with his family is much more difficult than just talking about it. Alexia asked Noah to promise that he wouldn't die in the upcoming battle. She admitted that she was aware of its power, but warned that the dream turtle was an unusual enemy, far stronger than any they had encountered in Kirkshish. Noah firmly promised that he was not going to die and would definitely defeat the Turtle of Dreams. Alexia only nodded in agreement with his determination. Noah said good night to Alexia. Then I thought about how I could go to sleep myself. Noah was thinking that the dream turtle would probably become the strongest of all his opponents, and so he should be as collected as possible. He also considered the possibility that his father might also be involved in the pacification, which was encouraging. These thoughts gradually lulled Noah to sleep, and he finally fell asleep. In the morning, Fafnir woke Noah and Alexia, telling them to get up. Noah awoke startled, not understanding what was happening, and called Fafnir. He anxiously asked if the dream turtle's trajectory had changed, to which Fafnir reassured him, saying that everything was still the same. Fafnir reminded Noah that it was already noon, and it was time to get up, since they had been sleeping for a long time. Noah was stunned and exclaimed that they needed to be at the garrison today, and started to hurry. He shouted to Alexia to get changed as quickly as possible. Alexia started changing right in front of him, and Noah ran out of the room with Fafnir in embarrassment. Noah, reflecting on how they could have slept so long on the eve of the decisive battle, expressed his surprise that Alexia didn't seem flustered at all. Alexia replied that Noah himself had been snoring like a pig all night, to which Fafnir remarked that the most important thing was that they were on time. They went to the eastern part of Ludolf, where the garrison was stationed, ready to subdue the ghost turtle. Alexia noticed how many people were gathered around. Noah explained that people even come from the nearest cities. He also noticed that some of the people present looked very unusual. Noah guessed that they were S-rank adventurers, of which there were only 12 in the Rasde Kingdom. Fafnir, addressing Noah, said that it would be inconvenient for him to fight in the form of a small dragon. Fafnir explained that he couldn't assume his true form in front of so many people. But despite this, Fafnir decided that he could fight to the fullest in a different guise. It suddenly took on a human form, shocking Noah. Noah, upon seeing Fafnir's transformation, was startled to realize that Fafnir was a female being. Fafnir clarified that he has no concept of gender, but if you have to disguise yourself as a person, then it's better to look cute. A strange girl announced that all adventurers would be given emergency quest strategy manuals. Noah decided that it was necessary to get acquainted with it. Alexia asked Noah what the manual said, to which Noah replied that the forces involved were divided into 3 main groups and began explaining what it meant. Noah explained that the first strike group includes the Knights of the Rasde Army and the Mage unit. He then revealed that the second strike group was made up of the adventurers of the Ludolf capital and those who came from the surrounding cities, including themselves. Noah added that the third and final defense squad is made up of court mages and S-rank adventurers. Fafnir complained that they couldn't attack right away, but Noah said it was better to leave the command to the army. Noah reflected that his father's name was among the commanders of the last squad, and that he was lucky to be in a different group, which made it less likely that he would encounter him during the mission. Noah also noted that the advancement of the Dream Turtle will be hindered by various magical mechanisms that have been prepared for the battle. Fafnir was surprised at how quickly they had prepared to face such a powerful monster, but expressed doubts about how long other humans would be able to withstand it. Alexia thought that she couldn't have imagined that she would encounter the Dream Turtle again on this earth. She turned her mind to her father and the people of Kirkshish, asking them to watch over them in this battle. Alexia firmly stated that she would definitely defeat the dream turtle this time. Noah offered to move their things to their place for now and said that they would spend the night in a tent. Princess Claudia thanked Noah and his companions for participating in this task, and also apologized to Mr. Hildegand for what happened earlier. Hildegand replied that there was no need to apologize, since Princess Claudia, despite her youth, is already filling in for her father, which in itself is not easy. Claudia expressed her concern, saying that she didn't want anything to happen to her father. Hildegand reflected that Noah would probably be part of this emergency mission as well, and if he showed up, he would surely attract Claudia's attention. With these thoughts, Hildegand told the princess that he would like to fight in the front ranks. Claudia was surprised at his boldness, but noted that, given his skills, Hildegand should be better placed in the role of commander. The next day, Noah felt that the moment for action had finally arrived. He prepared for battle with the first strike group of the Razdi Knights. A battle called Emergency Mission, Battle with the Dream Turtle, has begun. The intense and decisive battle has begun. The temporary shelter on the outskirts of the kingdom's capital, where the residents were hiding, was filled with fear and anxiety. A little girl would look into her mother's eyes and ask if a bad monster would destroy their home. The mother, trying to calm her daughter down, assured her that the strong soldiers of Raste would definitely defeat the monster. She confidently added that everything would be fine, hoping to convince not only her daughter, but also herself of this. At this time, the army commander gave the order to open fire, and the soldiers quickly set their guns to the maximum angle of fire, preparing to attack. The monster, being under fire, tried to dodge, but its power and stability inspired fear. The battle was reaching its climax, and the tension was increasing by the second. One of the knights reported to the commander in a panic that the attacks did not stop the dream turtle, and the monster continued to move forward. The commander, realizing the complexity of the situation, exclaimed, struck by the monster's incredible defense. However, he urged his soldiers to remain calm and continue shooting despite the setbacks. However, realizing the severity of the threat, the commander ordered his men to retreat to save their lives. The knight army was forced to retreat, abandoning their positions in the face of an unstoppable enemy. A strange girl anxiously reported that the monster had almost reached the second line of defense and urged the adventurers to prepare for battle. The second line of defense became agitated, realizing that it was their turn to join the battle. Noah, aware that the moment had come, was ready for battle. One of the knights reported with horror that the projectiles were running low and the defensive barrier was damaged. The commander desperately tried to regroup the troops, but the knight reported that they would not be able to hold the front line, making the commander think about the possibility of an end. Realizing the hopelessness of the situation, the commander gave the order to attack, despite everything. The knights, feeling the full weight of the moment, bravely went on the attack, shouting words about protecting their country, comrades, and families. They were willing to sacrifice their lives to protect everything they held dear. Alexia watched their bravery and pride with gratitude, knowing that these warriors deserved to be remembered forever. She confidently stated that they wouldn't die if they used their magic to create a powerful magic barrier. Alexia bravely stood up for the people, ready to do everything possible to save them. Fafnir urged everyone not to stand still and quickly move away, realizing that time was running out. She urged them on, saying that the giant turtle of dreams was near and they needed to escape immediately. Alexia shouted to the people to run right now, realizing the gravity of the situation. People hurriedly began to move, realizing that every second counts. Noah, seeing the monster, remembered how the turtle of dreams destroyed all the people of Kirkshish. With a pang in his heart, he remembered that Alexia's father had died because of this monster. Noah, filled with anger and determination, started to fight, knowing that this was his chance to get revenge. The knights, noticing the whirlwind, were surprised by its power and surprise. Noah blamed the turtle of dreams for leaving Alexia all alone, his voice filled with despair and pain. He used the powerful Stormblade spell, hoping to deliver a crushing blow. However, Noah's magic failed to harm the dream turtle, which shocked him and his companions. Fafnir couldn't believe his eyes as he noted that the monster didn't have a scratch left on it after such an attack, as it had managed to hide in its shell. Noah pondered, realizing that the dream turtle's shell was able to absorb magic and shoot it back, making it an even more dangerous opponent. He realized that there was no point in continuing the battle, and he thought of the mithril golem and the Book of Peace, deciding that it could change the outcome of the battle. Noah asked Alexia and Fafnir to distract the dream turtle for a while, explaining that he had a plan to defeat it. However, he warned that he would not be able to move at this time, and his companions must protect him. Alexia and Fafnir agreed, assuring him that he could count on them. Noah thanked them, feeling their support and determination, and began preparing for his plan. But all of a sudden, Noah was suddenly attacked from behind. Alexia was alarmed to see that someone had used magic on Noah and screamed, hoping that he was all right. Noah reassured his friends that he was fine and that they should continue to distract the dream turtle. He, aware of the gravity of the situation, did not understand why the attack had occurred at such an inopportune moment. And then Hildegand appeared in front of him, saying that Noah should disappear right here and now. Hildegand, looking at his son with pride, noticed that Noah's robe was equipped with protective magic, and an ancient one at that, which Hildegand thought was quite interesting. And he judged it as a relic of the past that couldn't compare to modern magic. Hildegand then ordered the flame to take the form of a whip to contain the enemy, using the third level of flame magic, the fire whip. Noah, aware of the threat, countered by causing a water wave. He begged his father to stop, saying it was not the right time to fight, and asked if he understood that. Hildegand, ignoring his son's warnings, sneered and said that he didn't care about the Turtle of Dreams and the fate of the kingdom's capital. Noah responded by summoning the spell Absolute Flame to indicate that he had no intention of backing down. Hildegand immediately summoned a fourth-level magic, the Ice Wall, to block his son's attack. Noah was surprised to see that his Absolute Flame had been stopped despite the incongruity of his attributes. He decided to use a magic attack. Hildegand continued to attack, summoning the flames to explode with anger. He used level 6 magic, a lava meteor, trying to destroy his son. The battle between father and son was gaining momentum, turning into something unimaginable. Hildegand, despite his confidence, was amazed that his worthless son was able to stand on a par with him, admitting that such a talent was not expected for him. He noted with regret that this power might have belonged to the Aldheim family. Realizing that the disclosure of Noah's exile could destroy the family's reputation and even deprive him of his title, Hildegand decided that at all costs he must eliminate this threat. If Noah refuses to return to the family, Hildegand sees no alternative but to erase his son's very existence. Noah, without flinching, said that he was not going to return to the family, but he would not allow himself to be killed. He added emphatically that he had to defeat the dream turtle that was his promise to Alexia. Noah noted that he did not want to fight his father, but since the situation was like this, he was left with no choice. Hildegand, noticing his son's determined look, was taken aback. He exclaimed that Noah was looking boldly at him, his father, and considered this an act of extreme insolence. Noah, realizing that it was too late for his father's show of authority, disappeared with transference magic. Hildegand, not intending to let go of his son, shouted that he would not let Noah escape. But Noah wasn't planning on hiding or running away. He suddenly attacked his father from behind, hitting him. Noah demanded that Hildegand stop the persecution, otherwise he will have to answer for his actions. Hildegand, wounded and dazed, asked if Noah really intended to kill him, his own father. In response, Noah used magic. Hildegand was defeated. Noah said goodbye to his father with cold calmness. Meanwhile, Alexia and Fafnir continued to fight the dream turtle. Fafnir used his fire breath to attack the monster and anxiously asked Alexia how she was feeling. Alexia replied that everything was fine. Noah finally approached them, apologizing for the delay. Noah strongly suggested defeating the dream turtle. Alexia anxiously asked about his father. Noah replied curtly that he was no longer there. Alexia realized what had happened, and before she could say anything, Fafnir exclaimed that the monster was attacking. Noah wasted no time in using magic to counter the monster. He ordered Alexia and Fafnir to distract him for a while, promising that he would deal with the perfect turtle defense and show you how to break through it. Fafnir and Alexia agreed. Noah thanked them and took action, but his plan required him to get as close to the turtle as possible, right on top of its shell. Fafnir was shocked by the idea, asking if Noah was crazy. Alexia, determined to help, said that she would go with Noah, despite his protests. Fafnir, seeing that he would now have to distract the monster alone, grumbled indignantly that he had been given the entire burden of the job. But, accepting the situation, he was determined to fight. Meanwhile, Noah and Alexia continued to approach the turtle. Noah, who decided that he had to handle the task on his own, told Alexia that it was his. Alexia, not agreeing with his decision, insisted that she take over the defense herself. Noah, seeing her determination, agreed with her and prepared to begin his part of the plan. Alexia watched Noah and thought about the man he'd become, and his complicated relationship with his father. Noah focused on the task at hand and started making changes, knowing that the success of their mission depended on it. Yun, who was at the headquarters, asked about the situation on the front line, and the girl reported that the secondary defense line had been breached. But due to the extraordinary strength of some adventurers, the Dream Turtle's progress slowed down. Yun realized that these adventurers were Noah and his companions, and gave the order for the entire army to support them in order to prevent the last line from breaking through. Yun also ordered to gather the adventurers who had come for reinforcements and send the S-ranked warriors to battle positions, not forgetting the magic tools. Noah remarked that he had never seen such characters and suggested that they might be encrypted. He decided that he could decipher them, since he had experience in such tasks. Noah focused on changing the information about the Dream Turtle shell in the book. After rewriting the information, Noah noticed that the changes did not work, and began to doubt whether he had made a mistake in the change process. Noah closed the book and noticed a few more books. He decided that it was necessary to change all of them. Noah wasn't worried about that. Since childhood, he spent hours in the library. One by one, Noah changed the books and continued to decipher the ancient grimoires. He confidently declared that it was nothing to him and promised to decipher all the books. Meanwhile, Fafnir was distracting the Dream Turtle's attention by expressing displeasure at the difficulties he was facing. A squad of knights joined the attack. The squad leader ordered them to aim for areas without armor. Fafnir noticed them. The mages started supporting the attack. They've focused their magic support on Fafnir because the Dream Turtle isn't affected by magic. Fafnir, noticing the mages and knights, realized that they had come to the rescue and took on his sinister form to fight the monster. Everyone at Uditiv was surprised. The commander was startled by Fafnir's transformation into a vicious dragon and decided to focus on opposing the Dream Turtle while supporting Fafnir. Fafnir continued fighting. Alexia, watching, apologized to Fafnir for the inconvenience. She realizes that Noah is using the book to rewrite the Dream Turtle's magical defenses. Alexia, realizing that the book had a higher power created by the king of the Rune Nation and that Noah had inherited it, was amazed that it was the work of the Spirit of Darkness. Alexia saw the Spirit of Darkness. The Dark Spirit noticed Alexia and was surprised to note that she was a survivor of the Rune people. He was sure that he had destroyed every single one of them during the last war. Alexia immediately realized that the current events were also the work of the Spirit of Darkness. The Spirit of Darkness attacked Noah without warning. Alexia protected him from this attack. She firmly stated that she would not allow the Spirit of Darkness to harm Noah. The Spirit of Darkness ordered her out of the way, declaring that he would not allow them to use the power of the Book of the Rune Nation again. He added that this is where Noah should die. Alexia, full of determination, promised that she would protect Noah at all costs, because she could no longer lose the people she loved. The Spirit of Darkness sarcastically remarked that the Rune folk had learned nothing to stand up to him again after all this time. Then he threatened Alexia that she would go after her own people. Alexia, despite the danger, was able to repel the attack of the Spirit of Darkness, protecting Noah, but it cost her a lot of effort. The Spirit of Darkness continued to attack, giving her no respite. He mockingly declared that it wasn't safe for people to touch his darkness at all. Alexia's arm was seriously injured, and it was becoming increasingly difficult for her to fight. Alexia, despite the threat and her own danger, continued to protect Noah. Feeling that her strength was running out, she asked Noah to hurry up. Meanwhile, Noah continued to sort through the books in a hurry, trying to find a solution. The strongest adventurers gathered at the headquarters, including the legendary Archmage Lawrence and Dragon Slayer Siegfried. The aloof elf Mage, along with the Beast King Fenrir, expressed their indifference to the fate of the royal capital, even though the future of the kingdom was at stake. Mage, as an S-ranked adventurer from the neighboring Aldo Duchy, had only reached this level thanks to her familiars. Serena, noticing the number of impressive personalities, decided to show her best side. People started talking about her admiringly, thinking that she was an A-rank adventurer. Serena thought that Noah and the others were already fighting on the front lines. She noticed that the Yun headquarters was actively working, considering that the fate of the Raste kingdom was hanging in the balance. Yun turned to Claudia. The princess thanked her for her leadership. Yun reported that the Dream Turtle would soon reach the last line of defense. They had gained a bit of time thanks to the efforts of the front ranks, but in case of a worst-case scenario, Yun strongly suggested that Claudia evacuate. However, Claudia firmly stated that she would stay. She noted that the soldiers on the front line fight with courage, and therefore she has nothing to fear. Besides, Claudia, who represented the king, knew that if she left, it would greatly weaken the morale of the soldiers. Confident of victory, Claudia assured Yun that the Dream Turtle would definitely be defeated. The Princess Knight admired Claudia, noting that her heart didn't waver even in the face of such danger. He said that he would stay with her until the very end. Claudia thanked her and admitted that she was only worried about losing contact with Mr. Hildegand, who had gone to the front line. She said she hoped he was all right. On the battlefield, Hildegand lost consciousness. He was found by rescuers. The rescuers called out to him worriedly, then suggested that he immediately summon a winged dragon. Hildegand, coming to his senses, was confused and wondered why he was here. One of the rescuers was relieved to confirm that Hildegand was alive. He recalled that he was injured during the operation to subdue the Turtle of Dreams. Hildegand realized that he had indeed participated in this battle. The knight noted that Hildegand only lost consciousness for a short time and miraculously did not receive serious injuries. Hildegand apologized for the inconvenience, but the knight assured him that his participation was an important reinforcement for their army. However, Hildegand felt that he had forgotten something very important. Then he noticed a robe with ancient inscriptions on the ground. When he picked it up, he felt that he had seen it somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where exactly. Hildegand felt an unpleasant pain in his head, which, although not severe, was still uncomfortable, as if something was swarming inside. He was sure that he must know the owner of the robe he had found. One of the rescuers anxiously asked if he was all right. Hildegand replied that he just had a slight headache, but that didn't distract him from his thoughts. He was annoyed by the situation, trying to figure out the cause of the pain, but decided that this wasn't the time to think about it. It was more important to subdue the Dream Turtle as soon as possible, so he declared that he would take the winged dragon. The lifeguard warned him about his recent injury, but Hildegand firmly ordered him to fly, despite the danger. The rescuers called out to him in confusion. Hildegand focused on the fact that powerful magical emissions were occurring on the Dream Turtle's shell. He noticed Alexia. Alexia defended Noah with all her might. The battle continued without stopping. Alexia was at the limit of her strength. The Spirit of Darkness, noticing this, declared with cold confidence that she, the last of the Rune people, was almost exhausted, and this time he would definitely exterminate them all. At this moment, Hildegand decided to intervene and, using the 7th level of light magic, released a holy arrow, aiming to destroy the manifestation of evil. After the attack, he turned to Alexia, asking if she was okay. Surprised, Alexia recognized him as Noah's father and mentally noted that her guess was correct. Noah hadn't killed him. Hildegand seemed to recall their previous meeting in the royal capital and expressed surprise that she dared to come here. Alexia wondered if Noah's father was behaving differently, as if he had been replaced. She began to wonder if he'd changed his mind about Noah. Thanking Hildegand for his help, Alexia offered to join forces to protect Noah together. When Hildegand heard Noah's name, he thought about it, repeating it aloud. Then he asked if Noah was really the guy standing behind Alexia. Alexia, surprised by his question, reminded him that he was also his own father. Hildegand, startled and confused, replied that it was impossible, and again felt an excruciating headache. Alexia remembered Noah's words and thought that maybe Noah had used the memory erasure spell on his father to erase all memories of himself and thus save his life. The spirit of darkness interrupted her thoughts, expressing disdain for their attempts, calling them a pathetic travesty. Hildegand was surprised to see that the spirit of darkness had survived even after being directly hit by a 7th level spell. Alexia explained that this is the main villain who summoned the Turtle of Dreams and suggested that Hildegand team up to defeat him together. Hildegand, still confused, agreed to help. Alexia reflected that Noah, like her, had become lonely, and that the memories that had been removed would never return. The spirit of darkness, confident in its own strength, noted that their number would not change the outcome. Hildegand wondered how absurd it sounded to think that Noah was his son. Still, the name Noah seemed familiar to him. Hildegand wondered why the name Noah sounded so familiar to him. He heard Alexia suggest that they team up to protect Noah. Hildegand agreed and started using powerful flame magic to create a fiery defense. At the same time, he couldn't help but think that Noah was trying to break through the Dream Turtle's powerful defenses, but he was unprotected. He wondered why no one had taught Noah even the basics of defensive magic. The spirit of darkness suddenly attacked Noah, but he was only a fiery illusion. Hildegand used 3rd level magic to create this deception, and chuckled as he noticed how angry the spirit of darkness was. Hildegand thought it would give them a little time. He reused the decoy. Hildegand, laughing, sarcastically remarked that the dark spirit's attack had missed again, and doubted if this was really a real dark spirit, since it couldn't deal him a serious blow. The spirit of darkness responded threateningly by saying that Hildegand would regret making fun of him. Hildegand thought that such a delay might give them a little time, and noted that it was a good thing that the spirit of darkness was so short-sighted. However, what bothered him was that one of his Noi was expending too much magic power. Alexia, hearing this, offered to give him her magic power to help. Hildegand stopped her, knowing that she was already at her limit. He decided to help Noah himself, despite his doubts. Alexia decided to keep an eye on the spirit of darkness. Hildegand stared at Noah and was suddenly struck by the young man's face. Noah reminded him of Reyna, his lover. This caused a severe headache, and memories of Rain started to pop up in his head. Reyna woke Hildegand, who had fallen asleep again at the table. She reminded him that despite his fascination with reading grimoires, it was important to know the measure and sleep better in bed. Reyna also expressed concern that their unborn child might adopt his habit. Hildegand met Reyna at the Royal Academy of Magicians. He was born into a family of magical nobles in Aldeheim and had magical talent, whereas Reyna was a commoner, but because of her perseverance and enthusiasm, she was ranked first among the Academy's entrants. They often competed. Reyna was happy to accept the challenges, trying to defeat the aristocrat. Although their clashes were fierce, their relationship developed harmoniously, and feelings soon developed between them. Despite protests from both sides over their different backgrounds, they married following their hearts. There was a book on the table that Reyna had noticed and asked about. Hildegand explained that it was a grimoire that contained the first book of fire magic for beginners and an accessible ice magic for everyone. Hildegand, who was born into the Aldeheim family, believed that he should learn at least the basics of magic, although he knew that this might not be enough. Reyna reminded him that they hadn't decided on a name for the baby yet, and suggested that he think about it. Hildegand pondered over the possible names and came up with the idea that one name is suitable for both a boy and a girl. He reached out to Reyna to discuss it. Hildegand saw Reyna lying on the floor. The doctor said that she was in a critical condition, and if nothing was done, her life would be in danger. Hildegand was shocked and knew that Reyna had never been very healthy, so this outcome was somewhat predictable. Reyna tried to say something, but Hildegand reassured her that everything would be fine and that they had a good doctor and midwives. He promised to stay close and told Reyna that he had come up with a name for their child Noah. Reyna agreed, saying it was a pretty name. However, she had a premonition that she wouldn't see his face when he was born. Hildegand, addressing Reyna, apologized for the constant trouble and spoke of his love for her. Reyna replied that she loved him too. After that, Reyna gave birth to a beautiful boy, but soon passed away. Hildegand was devastated by her death and could not accept the loss. He felt that he should have loved Noah as much as he loved Reyna and become a good father to him. Hildegand was struck by the magical power of his son, noting that the amount of magical energy in Noah was unprecedented. He also noticed the boy's excellent magic meridians and was sure that Reyna had sacrificed herself to give birth to such an outstanding child. Hildegand believed that Noah would become the best magician in the world. He blamed her death on the child, even though he knew it wasn't fair. 5 years later, when Noah's magical talent was determined, his dreams were dashed. Hildegand remembered everything. He realized that he was trying to hurt his own son, which made him the worst father in the world. Hildegand finally remembered how he had treated Noah. He regretted what he had done to their child and knew that he would never be able to correct his mistakes. Alexia wondered if Hildegand's erased memories had been restored. She doubted it was possible. The spirit of darkness discovered them and expressed its anger. Alexia warned Hildegand about the danger and advised him to avoid it. The spirit of darkness was not happy about being teased. Alexia saved Hildegand. She realized that she didn't have enough magic power to resist the spirit of darkness. She urged Hildegand and Noah to run away as quickly as possible. Hildegand agreed, but the spirit of darkness wouldn't let them go. Alexia distracted the spirit of darkness to give Hildegand and Noah a chance to leave. The spirit of darkness claimed that the Rune people would soon disappear and nothing would change, to which Alexia replied that it was better for him to keep quiet. Hildegand reflected on his actions and was alarmed by his behavior. He wondered why he'd left Alexia to fight while he ran. Hildegand was at a loss as to what to do next in the current situation. He also worried about how he would look into his son's eyes when he opened them. Hildegand understood that his whole attitude towards Noah was only violent and didn't know what the point of having an apology was now. He was thinking that it would be better to disappear from this world. The spirit of darkness taunted the Rune people, offering Hildegand to give up Noah, promising to spare her. Alexia replied that the spirit of darkness would not receive Noah. The spirit of darkness claimed that it was impossible to change the dream turtle even if one inherited the power of the Book of Peace, and that even the king of the Rune nation was unable to do so. He called for surrender and a dignified death. Hildegand summoned the spirit of darkness to release Alexia. The spirit of darkness expressed its displeasure that he was returning again after escaping, and that it was worth a great price. Alexia, in turn, was alarmed by what was happening. Hildegand assured her that Noah was safe, as he had set up a barrier to protect him. However, Hildegand was steeped in guilt, considering himself a worthless man who had ruined his own son's life. He realized that his life no longer made sense, and that if he ran away again, it would all happen again. Hildegand couldn't come to terms with the loss of his wife Reyna and put the blame for her death on Noah. He decided that he couldn't run away again, and that he had to live and love Noah for Reyna's sake. The spirit of darkness said scornfully that Hildegand had become too weak and soft. He expressed his disgust and said that there was no point in wasting time on such an insignificant opponent. Hildegand claimed that he was still the strongest fire mage in the world. He added that an insignificant spirit like his opponent would burn to ashes in his flames. The spirit of darkness rejected his words with disdain, calling it nonsense. Hildegand mentally apologized to Noah and Reyna, realizing that he was wrong about everything. He realized that neither the reputation of the prestigious Aldheim family, nor the authority of its head, nor even the magical talent, all of this mattered. Hildegand summoned the spirits of fire scattered throughout eternity to respond to his call. The spirit of darkness scoffed, thinking that Hildegand wouldn't be able to finish casting the spell. Confident in himself, the spirit of darkness attacked Hildegand. The spirit of darkness was deceived for the second time. Hildegand noted that his opponent had already fallen for the same trick twice, which confirms his insignificance. Hildegand summoned a flame that has been burning since ancient times, and he ordered him to destroy everything around him. He used a level 10 spell meteor flame limit. Hildegand realized that he couldn't do anything about the magic invulnerable dream turtle, so he decided to use his power against the spirit of darkness. Hildegand's meteor flame magic was amazing. Hildegand mentally apologized to Noah, adding that now he would have to continue on. Alexia put her back up to catch Mr. Hildegand. She praised Hildegand's magic, calling him magnificent. And in the end, Alexia called Hildegand her father. The Spirit of Darkness was amazed that a man like Hildegand could reach such heights. He couldn't believe that he was forced to reveal himself because of such an opponent. The Spirit of Darkness took on its true form for the first time in hundreds of years. He taunted, promising to put his opponent out of his misery quickly by promising to devour him in one bite. At that moment, Noah, who appeared at the very last moment, apologized to Alexia for his long absence and protected her by attacking the Spirit of Darkness with magic. Noah managed to protect Alexia. Noah, after looking at his opponent, wondered if it was really the same Spirit of Darkness that he had heard about. He also revealed that he had removed the Dream Turtle's perfect defense, which now allowed it to deal magic damage. Then Noah noticed his father, and he was surprised by what was happening, saying that he had a lot of questions, but all conversations would have to be postponed for later. Alexia, looking at the Dream Turtle's shell, noticed a crack and realized that it was an effect from Hildegand's high magic. She warned me that it was dangerous to be here and suggested that we retreat away from the shell. Noah picked up his father and prepared for a counterattack, and he confidently declared that now it was time to launch an offensive. Turtle Dream began to work magic. Yun was shocked to see the Dream Turtle's shell begin to crumble. One of the knights confirmed her concerns, noting that although the destruction was partial, the process was still ongoing. Yun thought of Noah, admiring his abilities, as only he among all adventurers was capable of such an impossible achievement. Claudia was talking to Yun, and she said that if they had a chance to win, it was now. Court Archmage Lawrence took action. He cast a 3rd-level lightning spell and attacked the turtle. After seeing the result, he was stunned that the Dream Turtle was affected by magic. Lawrence also noted that the Dream Turtle's resistance had not only decreased, but also reversed, doubling the damage from magic attacks. He was fascinated by what was happening, remarked that he had never seen anything like it in his entire life, and reminded himself that it was never too late to learn. Suddenly, the Archmage heard a magical signal for help. Meanwhile, Noah assumed that soon someone would come to pick up his father. He was surprised that the memory erasure had stopped working on Hildegand, since Noah had originally planned to cut off all contact with him. Alexia told Noah that his father sincerely regretted the way he treated him, and even apologized. Although Alexia didn't understand everything from his words, she felt sincere. Noah admitted that he could not forgive his father so easily. During the erasure process, he saw a glimpse of Hildegand's memories, where Hildegand genuinely loved his mother. To Noah, his father had always seemed insensitive. Noah now realized that this was not the case. In addition, when Noah was running out of magic power, Hildegand gave him his own, which, according to Noah, saved him from danger. Noah thought that maybe after this battle was over, he should try to talk to his father. He looked carefully at Alexia and, noticing her injuries, decided that they should be treated. Despite her attempts to reassure him that she was fine, Noah insisted and told her to sit down. Alexia, feeling weak, obeyed. Meanwhile, the battle between Fafnir and the Dream Turtle was still going on. Fafnir was amazed that Noah could actually handle the Dream Turtle's perfect defense, even though he still couldn't believe it. The Knight Commander tried to intervene, but the Knights warned him that he might get hurt as well. The Knights continued to watch Fafnir in surprise. At this time, an S-rank adventurer named Missa noticed something strange. Fafnir was wearing a collar, which meant that he was someone's pet. Missa, surprised, realized that she wasn't the only one who had an S-rank monster under her control, and wondered who could possibly be the master of this powerful dragon. The Fenrir Beast King, who was also watching, expressed his surprise. It was incredible for him to see this powerful dragon bow its head in front of someone. Missa, in turn, asked Fenrir if he was familiar with Fafnir. Fenrir confirmed that they often fought in the past, during what he called the good old days. Fafnir, recognizing Fenrir, responded with a sneer, calling him an ice mutt. Fenrir, in turn, offered to freeze it, as they had done before. Missa intervened, urging the two to stop fighting, as their main task right now was to deal with the Dream Turtle. The knights began to actively attack the turtle. Noticing that its defense was significantly weakened, they decided to take advantage of this opportunity and deal maximum damage. The mages began preparing magical deterrents aimed at immobilizing the dream turtle. With the help of magic tools, they were able to immobilize the dream turtle. When they managed to immobilize her, they were horrified to see that the magic tools began to detach one by one. However, Serena felt that even temporarily restraining the turtle was sufficient, and continued to actively deal damage. She stated that even a small amount of damage matters. The adventurers, who were watching Serena's actions, also joined in the fight, attacking the dream turtle. They compared their strategy to how water sharpens a stone, believing that they could do significant damage together. Fafnir and Fenrir joined forces together to attack the dream turtle. Claudia watched the situation unfold while Yun shared the story. She said that long before the founding of the Raste Kingdom, there was a huge city-state in the area, known as Kirkshisha, inhabited by the ancient Rune tribe. Yun mentioned that even now, ruins from the tribe can be found in these areas. And she noted the Tower of Heaven, which seemed to rise up to the heavens. At this time, the knight gave the order for everyone to retreat, as the dream turtle broke through the last line of defense. He warned that the operation will soon enter its final stage. Fafnir, seeing the humans retreat, expressed bewilderment, to which Fenrir replied sarcastically that someone apparently hadn't read the strategy guide. Yun thanked Alexia for allowing them to implement their plan. The final stage has begun. Yun reminded the princess that it was time for them to leave as well. In her mind, she recalled how it all started. If she and Noah hadn't gone to the ancient ruins that day and met Alexia, it was likely that the Raste Kingdom would have been destroyed, unable to resist the giant monster that suddenly appeared. Yun reflected that the present is always a consequence of the past. At this moment, the sky tower began to fall. Under the fallen towers stood the Turtle of Dreams. The sky tower fell right above the dream turtle. After the dream turtle was left under the rubble of the sky tower, everyone thought that it was finally defeated. However, the turtle suddenly began to move, despite the tower falling on it. Yun, startled, exclaimed in disbelief. But before she could do anything, Fafnir took the initiative. Fafnir confidently declared that he could handle the dream turtle, and delivered the decisive blow that would end the battle. The Turtle of Dreams fell, and Fafnir was victorious, even though he felt that his strength was running out. Yun, seeing Fafnir fall, caught him in time. It was reported that the dream turtle was no longer moving. Everyone around them rejoiced, believing that the victory was final. But the joy was premature. The Spirit of Darkness, who was watching, was indignant. He couldn't believe that humans were able to destroy the Sky Tower with an explosion, and that the Dream Turtle, which had taken so much effort to resurrect, was useless. Moreover, the Spirit of Darkness itself was mortally wounded by Noah's attack, which further aggravated its situation. However, the Spirit of Darkness wasn't going to give up so easily. He decided to use the Dream Turtle's body for his own purposes and tried to seize control of it. The knights and Princess Claudia were shocked when they saw the turtle start moving again. The Dream Turtle, under the will of the Spirit of Darkness, once again rose up and began attacking the Raste Kingdom. Yun, seeing this, was horrified and could not believe that such a thing was even possible. The knights, panic-stricken, shouted that the Dream Turtle was on the move again, and urged everyone to run for their lives. Princess Claudia made quick decisions. She ordered all the troops to immediately retreat and leave the kingdom's capital. She knew that continuing the battle would only increase the damage. Claudia decided that it was necessary to send instructions to the evacuated residents to get as far away from the capital as possible, since the invasion could affect not only her, but also neighboring areas. Misa realized the gravity of the situation, thinking that if nothing was done, even the elven village would be in danger of being destroyed. Fenrir offered to protect the village, but Mrs. sarcastically replied that fighting a monster that had already crossed the boundaries of divine or demonic would be madness. People began to retreat, realizing that it was almost impossible to resist the Dream Turtle in its new form. The Spirit of Darkness watched with satisfaction, glad that fear and despair were beginning to fill the world. This is exactly what he wanted, so that the human darkness would grow and spread. Noah realized in horror that the Spirit of Darkness had merged with the Turtle of Dreams, and he realized with annoyance that it was necessary to finish it off with an attack on the carapace. He tried to use the power of the Book of Peace again to weaken the turtle, but to his surprise, he found that the book didn't appear. Alexia explained to him that the power he was trying to use originally belonged to the king of the Rune tribe, and since Noah didn't belong to that tribe, he simply didn't have the authority to continue using that power. She explained to Noah that his powers were limited because he did not have sufficient authority to use the power of the Book of Peace. Noah, realizing this, desperately asked what they should do now and if there was any way to increase his authority. Alexia admitted that she did not know how, because the fact that Noah inherited the power of the book was already a real miracle. Noah made up his mind and told Alexia to stay put, knowing that in the current situation, they had no choice but to act without the power of the book. Alexia protested in a panic, reminding him that even Noah had limits. However, Noah replied that if he didn't try something, the kingdom's capital would be destroyed. He assured Alexia that everything would be fine and that he wasn't going to die like he promised. Alexia, although she agreed, was still worried. She thought back to the last time she'd seen her father, and Alexia was horrified at the thought of losing someone dear to her again. She didn't want to relive the loss, because she knew she couldn't take it anymore. Alexia ran after Noah. She quickly caught up with him, and she said she'd found a way to boost his credentials. Alexia explained that after her father's death, the position of King of Kirkshish became vacant. So if she, the Rune Princess, and Noah were to marry, the throne would go to Noah. Alexia kissed Noah. She recalled the words of her father, who said that a kiss for the people of the Rune tribe is an extremely intimate action and should only be given to someone who is truly dear. Alexia asked that Aldheim Noah be given eternal rune protection. Noah was embarrassed, and Alexia, also embarrassed, apologized for the suddenness of her action. She explained that they had just decided on a wedding. Noah was amazed that this power was now available to him. Alexia confirmed that Noah was now king of the Rune tribe, albeit in such an unusual way. She added that with this power from the Book of Peace, Noah will be able to use it without restrictions. Alexia assured them that they would win with renewed vigor. The knights were in despair as the spirit of darkness continued to mercilessly attack the kingdom's capital. Noah entered the battle determined to defend the city. The spirit of darkness directed its powerful attack at the knights, but Noah, using the vector shift technique, was able to protect them by deflecting the blow. Noah healed the wounded knights with a full healing spell, then used an indirect spatial transition to teleport them to safety. The knights were stunned. The spirit of darkness, seeing Noah's actions, realized that he would be his main opponent. And the spirit of darkness sarcastically said that he didn't expect the Book of Peace to be summoned by someone other than the Rune tribe. However, the spirit of darkness thought that this was even better, because he could kill Noah and take over the power of the book. Noah, full of determination, declared that he would definitely overcome the spirit of darkness. The spirit of darkness mockingly commented on the situation, stating that it was funny, and suggested that Noah try to do something if he had the guts. Noah cast the spell Sword of Light, piercing darkness. He applied it with the multiplication effect. The spirit of darkness reacted with derision, calling it a very entertaining childish prank. And the spirit of darkness tried to defend against the attacks that came from Noah. People began to notice the mysterious light fighting the dream turtle. Yoon was surprised and asked what that light was, to which Claudia was surprised to say that maybe it was what they thought. Noah found that his magic power had run out. The spirit of darkness mockingly reminded Noah that his ability to use the Book of Peace was now irrelevant, as without magic power, there was nothing he could do. Noah realized that changing the principles of the world with the book required much more magical power than he had previously had. So he decided to change the entry to Aldheim Noah. Noah changed it to restore the flow of his magic power and overcome the upper limit. He believed himself that he could change the record of himself. Noah was able to change himself. This surprised the spirit of darkness. Yoon noted that Noah completely dominates the dream turtle. The spirit of darkness was stunned and terrified by what was happening. Noah confidently told the spirit of darkness that he should give up, because as long as the Book of Peace is in his hands, the spirit of darkness has no chance of winning. The spirit of darkness expressed doubts about Noah's confidence, warning him not to underestimate him. He recalled that he had dealt with the Rune King who owned the Book of Peace in the past. Darkness enveloped the kingdom's capital, creating gloom. Noah noticed that the pages of the Book of Peace had turned black. The spirit of darkness reported that it had imbued the core of the world with its darkness, and now Noah can't use the power of the book. The spirit of darkness struck Noah, causing him to be knocked back. The spirit of darkness declared that everyone should disappear, swallowed up by the darkness. While watching the situation, people expressed fear and despair. Noah panicked and asked himself what to do. He noticed that the Book of Peace now consists of black pages and concluded that these pages are not completely black, but are covered with tiny symbols that fill all the pages. Noah admitted that he had never seen such a complex language, but if they are symbols, they can be deciphered. He thought back to his childhood days of solitude, which had not been in vain. Noah assured himself that his talent for decoding wasn't useless, but was there for this day. He decided that the Book of Peace could still be used. The spirit of darkness rejoiced in his victory, believing that the world now belongs to him. But his joy didn't last long. Noah stated that in order to prevent the darkness from completely engulfing the world, he would use the absolute protection of the dream turtle. He noted that the world is made of symbols, and the power of the Book of Peace allows you to create anything. The spirit of darkness was furious and couldn't understand how Noah was still using the power of the Book of Peace. He expressed displeasure that Noah continued to use magic despite his actions. Noah explained that the dream turtle shell absorbs all kinds of magic power, and he added that the carapace still reflects them back. Noah told the spirit of darkness that he had chosen the wrong opponent, and that if it had been anyone else, the world would already be under his control. The spirit of darkness was stunned. He is surprised at how people were able to resist him. Noah noted that the spirit of darkness hadn't changed since the last battle, but the people were different. Alexia watched with excitement. Noah continued that through books, knowledge and experience were passed down from generation to generation. And because of this, they now live on top of their accumulated experience. He thanked the Book of Peace for its power and delivered the final blow to the enemy. Noah declared that this was the end for the spirit of darkness. He used absolute flame for the last time. As a result, Noah won the battle.